Hello, everybody! Welcome to another session of Arcana Core. I am your androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades, who is GMing this session, and with me on the stream are four fantastic players here in the spot again, going from left to right as usual. We have Goyne, played by Ruben.
Hi, I'm Ruben, or Goyne. It's impossible to tell at this point.
The character bleed is real. We have Tom, who is playing Shinichi.
Hello, everybody. Still sounding like an embittered Yorkshireman, despite his youthful heritage.
You'll get there. It's all good. We also have Marcy playing Sabine.
Whatever. Sorry, I was just keeping up with the character bleed thing.
Oh yeah, you got to get the energy through, right? You got to don the mask.
Go girl, give us nothing. I love her lack of energy.
I genuinely love the shared metaphor between donning the mask in a theatre sense and character acting, but also because this is a big Persona send-up that actually means a lot in multiple senses at the same time. And finally, but absolutely not least, we have Will playing Lucian.
Howdy, y'all. That's what the kids are saying these days, and I'm hip, as Lucian.
Ah, fantastic. Right, I guess that I should be getting on to doing what happened last time on Arcana Core, unless one of y'all want to take a crack at it.
No.
Ha! That is absolutely fine. I forgive you.
That is smallest no.
No.
Mechanically, we beat that other team, and that's all I remember. That's all that,
Nathan's,
that needs to be taken away from that.
I couldn't possibly take the honor away from you.
Cool. You think by this point I would actually write a specific blurb to do that, and I never do, and then I'm just kind of like, I'll make my way around it myself. But yeah, we'll get it going. All right. Last time on Arcana Core. Let's get music. Hell yeah. Last time on Arcana Core, mysteries in the unconscious. Our heroes dreamed deeply after solving their very first case, the case of the Emperor, the Red Queen. Each of them reflecting on their previous struggles and the relationships that they have forged, found something reflected within themselves because they are slowly learning the difference between reality and fiction and how to move between the two. Dreams have their own special space. Lucian explored a non-Euclidean library labyrinth with Sabine. Goyne dreamed of a combat arena with Sabine as his coach, facing down Gato Demonio, who was just the goblin Kim. Shinichi dreamed of a desert made of book pages with Lucian, facing down a gigantic hand that offered them power in exchange for giving up their mundanity. And Sabine finally dreamed of smoking on the roof of Shinichi before being interrupted with shadowy reflections of her parents. The next day, Shinichi continued his day job. No, not his regular going to school, but his side deal of wheeling and dealing as part of the local mafia, delivering a number of study drugs to Elysium Island, an incredibly expensive man-made island owned by Atomicon Technologies, holding both research laboratories and both a high school and university. He delivered the study drugs to one Farron Wyndham, who is relatively stressed out about the goings-on at the university. However, their light conversation and sales deal was cut short when Farron found out that one of his close friends had been assaulted last night. After the regular school day, of which Shinichi missed out a decent chunk of, the gang were called back to Rider HQ, the governmental organization that they investigate mysterious goings-on in, to talk to their manager, Agent Fields, about their last mission. A tarot card containing the trapped energy of the Emperor was retrieved, and it seems to be an object that is entirely fictional in nature, but somehow still exists in the real world. Then Agent Fields gets a message. It seems that there are further Rider agents that work within Jungsburg, and they have reported in a potential supernatural occurrence on Elysium Island. So the entire gang head back over and encounter Detective Cirrus, who is once again assisting Jungsburg Police Department in a crime investigation. It seems that there has not only been a stabbing on the island, but a piece of research and development sabotage. However, Cirrus says that actually assistance isn't especially needed. After all, they already have members from Rider HQ investigating, which turned out to be Team Gamma, the mysterious duo Kier Velaris and Vega Hexed, who allowed them to kind of join in on the investigation if Team Delta could prove their might in combat. A fierce battle occurred, but unfortunately the entire Team Delta were put to sleep. But they proved themselves, and with day swiftly moving into night, the Team Gamma allowed the investigation to be opened to another group. It's the dawn of a new day, and investigations will soon continue on Elysium Island. Welcome once again to Case 2, Judge, Jury, and Executioner. Okay.
Judge, jury, executioner.
I will try and make sure that my diction is cleaner.
Judge Judy's here. No, you were fine. I'm just being me.
Okay, let's move on to the map. We have a new map, everybody.
Ooh.
Oh, yo.
Yo! Look at
I
that.
resist my temptation to say Pog. Can we get some Pog champs and chat,
Hey,
everyone?
Can we get some freaking pogs going here?
Can we get some Pog champs?
Oh my gosh. But yes, it is a new day. After facing down Team Gamma, they actually booked a hotel room for you all, so you were able to have a peaceful rest, although maybe with some fitfulness. After all, there is a difficult day ahead. You do actually have to investigate an attempted murder. So let's see. Oh, actually, let's kind of have a brief. This hotel does actually have a restaurant and serves breakfast, all inclusive, as part of your stay. What is your morning like? Go and have a little bit of chat over breakfast, while you wait for Vega and Kier to come down and say hi. Actually, they're probably already eating breakfast. They beat you to it.
Yeah, I want to have the scene of like going in front of the line, the breakfast buffet, but like asking the attendant there, like, hey, do you serve coffee to the minors?
So the one of the members of waiting staff at the restaurant says, yes, that's absolutely fine. Would you like cream and sugar with your coffee?
Oh my god, Sabine.
She's just laughing behind you. She just lets you keep doing it.
I don't. I want it on the rocks.
She blinks a couple times and says, one black iced coffee coming up. And steps away. Unless anybody else has drinks orders.
You get like a really over-enthusiastic, like fake proud face with a thumbs up, like, good job.
I think Lucian's going to slide in and ask if they can get a croque madame.
I don't. Oh, like a croque monsieur. Sure. What's the difference, if you don't mind asking?
Oh, ham in and one doesn't. I can't remember.
Yeah, I believe that, we'll say we're in a... Oh man, if only French wasn't so gendered, I'd love to do like a NB croque that just has like an apple on top.
It's just an apple.
Not a whole apple, mind you, but...
A delicately sliced apple topping your sandwich,
A croque madame is basically a croque monsieur without the sauce and without the egg.
Women can't handle sauce and eggs, obviously.
No sauce, no egg, women only.
I like the idea that this place can serve a croque monsieur, and it comes with, I think it comes with like a barbecue jerk sauce. It's spicy.
Like it. I think Sonichi will be casually going around the breakfast thing, piling up his plate, and then very surreptitiously like wrapping rashers of bacon and hash browns and surreptitiously putting them in his bag for lunch later, and possibly tea.
A wait staff comes over and is like, we do have Tupperware.
Sorry, that must have just fallen in there. Yes, I'll have as much as you can give me. So. I mean, yes, I'll have some Tupperware, thank you.
They come back later with 4 pieces of Tupperware alongside. It's Vega, because Vega winds y'all up more.
Yeah, she really does.
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
Shall I pull the
Pleasure.
token for Vega? Actually, that seems like a good idea. Hold on a second. I'll go fetch her for you. How are you guys doing? Did you all sleep well?
Yeah. Did we? I slept.
Sure.
kinda okay. I had like a dream where I was a wrestler, but I have that every day. So
I'm hitting the frame by frame on that. Can you tell us in extensive detail about this wrestler tree?
How sweaty
Yeah.
are you? Let's get the needs.
so like immediately turns his back towards Vega and just starts yelling. So in this dream,
Oh, hold on. Hold the fuck on, my dude. We need to get character themes going if we're doing this. Let's pull it back up.
theme
What have I
of
done?
pettiness. Play it.
What happened on your dream? Tell me.
Happened in my dream.
Oh,
God.
sorry. Let's do that again. What happened in your dream? I'm interested.
Can literally anyone else just ask me that so I can answer them?
Do you have
Tell
a
us about
wrestler
your
title
dream.
in your dream?
I did. Thank you for asking, Lucian. So I was in full kayfabe, had my costume, like WWE style. We had it all. Crowds were blaring, cheering, teeth knocking.
Lucian
And-
writes down, they haven't told me their wrestler name yet in their notepad.
Still work. That's still work. That's still in progress. That's a key point. Just holding up the belt, and then Kim entered the ring, and then grew 5 times as large and started round 2 of the match. It was very intense. He was wearing like one of those sumo loincloths. It was very unflattering. I think it was a nightmare. It wasn't much of a dream.
Well, that sounds, stressful. But hey, if you're dreaming about your mythos, that's a good sign. You can work through a surprising amount in your dreams. Are you a lucid sleeper by any chance?
Am I a lucid sleeper? I mean, I win all the time in my dreams, so yeah.
No, he's not.
I'm not. I lied. I'm sorry.
It might be a thing to work on, you know. If you're managing to face yourself down within your dreams, you might uncover something new about yourself.
Question actually, Vega says she'll sit down with 4 completely empty boxes of Tupperware, which are currently being staffed away for presumably selling later.
And let's go and put something a bit more chill on, because that was pretty intense.
That was very intense for like, hey, this is what I dreamed about.
Well, I mean, it's your kind of wrestler character theme, so I figured
That's
I'd pull it back in.
She'll plonk down a coffee that the spoon's pretty much standing up in due to the consistency of sugar and the amount of coffee to water ratio being horrific. How do you actually get to the stage of being able to just manifest your mythos outside of the, well, dream world, as it were, bubbles?
Oh, well, when it comes to being able to change form outside the collective unconscious, she does so.
Oh.
Oh.
Well,
What? Hold on.
I'm something a little bit of a special case. After all, I have my partner to thank for this. And she smiles, and then, actually, she stays in this for the conversation for a little bit. Yeah. So everybody's mythoses and what they can do with their powers manifests a little differently. As it stands, a lot characters from fiction who are also about stories in fiction are some kind of interesting, as it turns out. After all, their powers are about being able to weave stories, and that manifests in some really interesting ways.
So,
I wouldn't be able to do this without Kia, is what I'm saying. I'm really grateful that we're partners, and she smiles quite genuinely.
Can Kiara do the same for us?
Oh, I mean, sure. All you just need to do is have a chat with him and have him be relatively in the same space. She waves at Kier, who is reading a book by the window, and I think it catches Kier in a particular kind of like light where the sunlight backlit, so he's in shadow, and you get the nice silhouette shape of him holding the book
Seeming
with
goes, dramatic. You know.
Yeah, that seems to happen. But then, when you're protagonists in stories, the cinematography's on your side, I'd say.
She's just like scratching her head.
This is all very metaphysical and quite complicated.
Of course.
Yeah.
She switches back.
Are there other guests in the little breakfast area?
There are some. They don't seem to. They didn't seem to respond too much about the fact that she kind of like changed. But then
too much.
Like there are people that kind of looked over. You might how to put this. Have you ever, you're walking down the street, you've decided to dress real nice that day, and you're just out and about, and then you see somebody make eye contact with you, and you can read like, oh, they've noticed what I'm wearing, and they think it's cool, and then they go about their day. It's that they got that kind of look. And she notices that you're kind of questioning that. It's like, well, the thing about the difference between reality and fiction and believing it is that, well, when something really irrational happens, the human brain is very good about rationalizing it, right? I'm sure anybody who saw me do that just now assumed that I might have been in cosplay, or maybe they just assumed that I'm a bit of an avant-garde fashionista.
Huh. That's a good way of putting it, actually.
If I started, growing vines out and smashing the breakfast bar in half, then they might pay attention to that, but...
So, it's all about, like, what they can map it to, what they can compartmentalize it to. That's interesting.
I suppose sorry, go on. Apologies.
I was just gonna say that's actually very good to know, so that can actually work in your favor if you want to make an impression on someone.
Oh, absolutely. If you can get them to believe your fiction, then you can do all sorts of things. And there's also believing in your own fiction. You can get incredible powers once you understand yourself and are willing to fall into your own story. It's just, she blinks, maybe dangerous?
So the people who sort of lost themselves to the fiction rather than keeping control of them.
After all, I think Kier did mention that before I was able to pull out Ibarahime on command, he did have to pull me back for the brink a few times.
So, like, character bleed is a risk, in a sense.
Absolutely.
But this is now, it looks directly at the camera.
Yeah.
Vega, the brink of what exactly? What would have happened if you weren't pulled back from the brink, as it were?
Well, you've already found a nightmare before, right? You think back to the Red Queen.
True.
Goin has a thought. What happens if I believe too hard in Kim?
That's interesting. You seem to have a similar power to mine. Part of your mythos is being able to conjure an entity separate to yourself.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
that wasn't something I always had. By the by, I had to. It took a little bit of personal soul searching to be able to separate Ibarahime from myself, which I guess Jungsberg has no subtext, but you can probably read about being able to separate an identity from yourself in that kind of regard. Yeah.
In my case, this guy just showed up eating chips on my bed.
Well, maybe if you believed in it too hard, you'd become one and the same.
Oh God.
Oh,
I don't.
God.
I'm only 16 and don't want to goblinize yet.
Kim really is kind of just a shitty uncle, huh?
Kind of, yeah.
I'm
He's
still
our-
not sure I believe in Kim.
But he's our shitty uncle.
You hear from absolutely nowhere. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Go fetch me a drink. I know you're underage, but I want to be here.
Anyway, Vega kind of like tries to. You get the impression that she also heard Kim and is trying not to think about that too hard.
Oh no, Watto's here.
So I've put in a word with Cirrus. So if you have a chat with her, she'll be able to get you into any of the particular investigative crime scenes. You're going to be escorted by police when you do it, but you're allowed to be there. On our end, we did agree for us to step aside and let you investigate. So if you want to speak to us at any point, hold on. if you want to speak to us at any point, all you need to do is make your... Oh my gosh. Roll 20, why are you like this? All you just need to do is kind of make your way over here. We'll be by the Statue Plaza if you need to get in contact with us at all.
Alright.
Cirrus is near the previous crime scene at the dorms. So if you make your way over to the dorms, you'll be able to speak to Cirrus.
I've always loved the trope of like NPCs announcing, "We'll be in this location," and then they will be there forever.
I mean,
stand right exactly here until the exact moment you need me. Take a
There's-
3-month break from the
No,
game. I'll still be here.
Vega, I understand. You need to do some recalibrations.
yeah, there's a degree of genre bleed going on here, but bear with me. But you know, I mean, I'm more than happy to take a break. We work quite hard when we're on the job, so the fact that we can pass it off to our underclassmen, as it were, is a nice change.
Ooh, Team Gamma.
She is genuinely older than you.
Quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Teams Alpha and Beta?
Oh, well, Team Alpha, they were, I guess, the pilot program, as it were. As I said, they're retired now.
When you say retired and like the secret agency kind of thing, do you mean quote unquote retired, or they just got old?
That's unfortunately none of my business and none of yours.
Well, I
We'll
want
bully
to.
Fields about it later.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh, actually, speaking of Fields, he was actually part of Team Beta, so if you want to have a chat to him after this is all done, he'll probably tell you about it.
that's a
Yeah,
good.
he seems like a beta.
I think Vega
Nice.
also laughs at that.
Nice.
Oh,
Real
good one,
nice.
good one. She goes for a high five.
She gives her one, absolutely.
Traitor.
Oh
Lucian is writing-
man, oh man, hold on. If she goes for a high five and you get one, I think that's important. Hold on.
Social rate, go.
This is
So
the only
the
thing that we
walls are
bonded
coming
over. Yes, I knew it!
Rank up. Yeah, feel free to fill in the fourth slot on your social links with 1 point with Vega.
Yes!
Yo.
Meanwhile, Lucian's just writing down in their notebook, like, Field, quote, seems like a beta, unquote.
Anyway, I've been talking your ear for too long, and you probably need to actually get to preparing your investigation. So I'll let you finish your breakfast and have a good day. Feel free to chat to us whenever you want to find out more information about the case. We did a little bit of research, so we're more than happy to tell you. Catch you later.
But
Bye.
she's gone.
She just evaporates. No, she walks away in fiction, but you know.
Alright, group huddle. What's our opinion of Team Gamma? Do we still like hate them? Because I feel like Sabine high-fiving is fraternizing a little too much.
She liked my joke, what can I say?
Huh.
But perhaps we sort of let the barriers down a little bit and lull them into a false sense of security. Yeah.
Oh.
They certainly seem useful.
And I think it would be good to get used to get close to that Kier guy so that we can, you know, access the good stuff outside of the bad place.
Well, he does need to be around us for that to happen.
That's why we keep him close. That was a double entendre.
Oh, I see. 2 entendres.
Okay.
Oh. I kill Lucian.
Okay, let's get to this shit. Let's get going. So there was a little bit of discussion earlier off air about how you want to proceed in your investigations, and there are 2 potential locations for you to investigate first. So let me know how you guys want to tackle this, and we'll make that happen.
Well, I did have the slight thoughts on each also. I wouldn't mind having a chat with the lad they've got down as the potential suspect who was kind of getting off scot-free, at least from the police investigation side. But I probably need some sort of foil for sort of someone to pull on a more sort of serious face if I go in guns blazing a bit. Going, would you be interested? There's a sort of pointing across the table with the sort of double guns.
So you want me to take on this highly specific role, and let me think about that for a bit second. And then he takes a sip of his black iced coffee, and his eyes go wide, and like from sort of like choir singing angel music, sort of like a mystical rainbow energy fills his entire body as he becomes just one glitter, like the silhouette of a glitter space. And he goes, "Holy crap!"
This is the first time Goyne has ever had coffee.
Yeah, I feel like Lucian just like dips a pinky in the coffee, tastes it, and it goes, it's kind of weak, actually.
Okay. Let's work with this in the fiction. Goyne, take a tag, buzzed.
Oh shoot, yeah.
Yes.
I'm buzzed on coffee. You know, I'm just
Performance-enhancing drugs.
Also, you should all have control of your respective pushpin.
Ooh, I'm purple.
No, these.
Oh.
Alright, I'm now buzzed.
So you can decide how you want to group up and actually go on the map. Being able to, I will say up front that to be able to actually get to the classroom, you'll need to speak to Cirrus first. But yeah, you can absolutely go there and do that.
So ground control to Major Goyne. He lends back his
Shut up.
his glitter. He just returns to normal. His out-of-body experience becomes an inner-body experience, and he just looks at Shinichi and goes, "Let's do it."
Wonderful.
Well, Lucian, how about you and I go, I don't know, fuck around somewhere, find some information. I'm sure there's plenty of that on this stupid...
I could go for a pleasant game of golf about now, but I think there might be more useful things for us to spend our time doing.
You think?
Oh, yeah, I think most of those icons should make sense, but do let me know if one of them is like, what the fuck's that?
Well, I
Do you wanna
can't
go
see.
to the-
I can't see what's behind the dorm pushpin.
Oh, that is just. This is actually where you currently are. It's essentially the main, town for
Got it.
Elysium.
They all look sensible.
Okay, what do you want to do in town?
Oh, I figured I was just putting that there because we're already in town.
Oh, fair enough.
So you said that you wanted to check out some golf at this point?
I don't expect golf to be actually particularly relevant, but so okay, Shinichi and Goyne are heading where?
We'll have to have a word with
Cirrus in the dorms.
Cirrus first,
So
yeah.
you'll want to go here first if you want to go to speak to
Okay.
Cirrus.
Golf? It's pronounced golf. I thought it was jolf.
It was Jolf before it came over, and then they Romanized it.
Wow, you're so smart, Sabine.
Are you sure it's not
do my best.
Yelp?
Yelp in the
but-
north.
Sabine,
That's what they play in the south.
Shall
Sabine,
we?
I think
Okay.
it might be wise for us. Sabine, I think it might be wise for us to actually speak with. If we head in the direction that Vega and Kira are, we might be able to act as a bit of a relay. So when Shinichi and Goyne turn up some valuable information, we'll be right next to Vega and Kira to poke them a bit about it, and then that can give us an idea of where to head off independent. What do you think about that?
I'm happy with that idea. I think it's gonna pay off in the end.
Excellent.
That all makes sense to me. Give me a second to go and that would suggest we speak to Cirrus first. So I'm just setting up the map correctly so you all can see that. Then we need Shinichi and Goyne at this location. The fight will occur at this location. And it turns into CVS 2.
Take you for a ride.
All right. Let's go over to Elysium Island. And we'll go and set Detective Cirrus's theme, which I have changed since, because I started playing Paradise Killer, and the music in it's really good, so her theme has changed. Let's go find her theme. Here it is. Yeah, there we go. Yep, you make your way to the kind of like dormitory space. And Cirrus is back outside There is now police tape up everywhere, and there's various members of the Jungsburg PD milling about, and other people that look similarly official but aren't in the same type of uniform, and you can infer that is Atomicon Technologies' own local law enforcement.
Whoa, they got private police robots?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The Elysium Islands are fully owned in almost every sense by Atomicon Technologies, so they do have their own private security.
Are these like Atomicon makes me think of robots, but are they people or robots?
They're people. This setting isn't far forward enough to have androids.
Yeah, okay. But that's, still disconcerting.
Oh yeah.
It's an absolute arse to get anything done on this island, says Sonichi. Anything that gets done at the port and done very quickly. So I hear.
Basically everyone here is a mall cop. Right?
Yeah, eyes everywhere.
A mall cop with surprising amounts of jurisdiction. It seems that Cirrus overheard and is making her way over. If I was actually on the right layer, there we go. She makes her way over, having inserting herself into the conversation. Good morning, you two.
Good morning. Sounds like you have experience with the Mall Cops Plus. Yep.
It has been an absolute nightmare trying to get my job done here.
Oh man, we're just getting started. So, any pointers?
Oh, well, yes. I can at least give you the rough rundown of the information we've gathered so far. You're not even in the same block as me. Yeah, I can give something of a rundown of what's been going on so far. Some of this is stuff I mentioned to you yesterday, but hey, this could probably be useful to you in the long run. After all, I am going to be working with you today. She seems actually pretty pliable about the circumstances here.
Are you implying something about me?
Actually, thinking about it, it's probably a mixture of Sabine not personally being there to antagonize her while she's doing her job, but also it seems that, since you're now officially on this case, she's no real resistance about helping you as long as you're not an asshole to her. To give you the general rundown, there were two particular crimes that were reported in. One was attempted murder, as you're probably aware. There is a student at Atomicon University, Paz Burnham, who was assaulted in her apartment at about, about 2 a.m. on Thursday.
What's the name again, sorry?
Paz Burnham, P-A-Z-B-U-R-N-H-A-M. Paz Burnham.
Okay.
Yes. And so that was reported in. I think a roommate came back really late and found her. She has been taken into hospital. She's still alive and is currently recovering and in a position to be talked to. Simultaneously, there was a report in of R&D sabotage, an experiment belonging to a Farron Wyndham. And Sonichi, you know of Farron Wyndham. It's the person that you sold focus drugs to the night before. Or no, sorry, the day after the crime. So yesterday, which was the morning after the crimes had occurred, you sold focus drugs to Farron Wyndham, who then found out that their friend had been stabbed, and you already have put two and two together in that regard. At the university research labs on the island, it seems that particular research project was sabotaged. It was an engine that he was working on, I believe. There was some surface research done into both of these instances. My particular field is in criminal psychology, but we did have some forensics check out. It seemed that there was a pretty deep stab wound into Paz, and also, weirdly enough, strangulation marks around her neck. We checked it up against our records. You can actually she shows a surprising amount of not enthusiasm as in yay people are being hurt, but more of a kind of like, oh, these are the ins and outs of how we actually determine these kind of cases. It's actually possible to work out what somebody was strangled with by the marks. You can tell it wasn't hands, it was rope or some kind of long pliable object, but it doesn't fit any of our records. It's definitely not rope, or there'd be fiber marks, and it wasn't like electrical cord. It was something that wasn't on our records at all.
I look over to Shinichi and whisper, "Vines."
Wouldn't be like to be throwing that one out just yet, but let's not rule it out. Blaming our colleagues for it.
Similarly, the stab wound was something long, narrow, and thin.
Okay.
And you gain 1 clue.
Da-da-da-da.
Paz's medical records.
Oh, yay.
Which I will paste into chat. Give me a second. So there are multiple clues that you'll gain over the course of this adventure, which I'll post into chat to let you know that information. But I'll also have an icon for it on the map, so you can be reminded of what evidence you have at all times, because it will be relevant as we continue.
Yeah, has his medical records. It's bad.
Stab wounds are awkward. It's so much easier when it's like, I don't know, they've been hit over the head with a clock, which just happens to stop with the time on.
Yeah, someone's wearing a watch.
Yeah, this case is a bit more advanced than case 1 of Phoenix Wright. Although Phoenix Wright and Danganronpa are very strong inspirations for this session, so you know. Cool.
So you mentioned yesterday there was a suspect who you was sort of taken in, but all the charges have been dropped due to leanings from higher up.
Yes, that is the thing that I'm finding incredibly frustrating working with the local law enforcement, she air quotes. It seems that both the stabbing and the sabotage have been all pinned on a one Quinn Commandant, who is the son of Atomicon Technologies' CEO, which gives you a strong impression of why it's really hard to indict him for a particular crime. A bloody knife was found in the locker in the research labs. Similarly, there was a spilt flask of acid that belongs to the experiment that he was currently working on. So it was very easy to kind of put 2 and 2 together, at least on a surface level. We wanted to take him for questioning. Atomicon Technologies said no, absolutely not. So it's going to be really difficult to kind of ascertain the full truth unless we can actually speak to him properly. We've managed to reach, I guess, an agreement. He is currently being held in one of the university classrooms.
Oh, right. Infinite detention. Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah. Do you think it might be possible for us to get a wiggle in there, potentially to have a talk with him, given we're not police?
As long as we can have a member of our police department escort you alongside, it'll be doable, yes.
All right.
Okay.
Do you think, because you mentioned the bloody knife, but the stab wound of Paz doesn't match any knives, right?
Well, it'd be, let's see. I'll take a quick glance at my own clue notes to see whether this is the thing I am supposed to give you now, or whether you were... yes, actually, yes, we did manage to recover the knife. It did actually have Paz's blood on it, making it a pretty significant potential piece of evidence.
That's good to know, then. Gain evidence. Rich boy did it.
Hold on. Sorry, let's adjust that so they're not overlapping fully and you can actually see what they both say. There we go.
The knife is forged out of credit cards.
Folded.
But yes, entry-level forensics did actually match the blood on the knife to Paz.
But the wound was not quite right.
That is a concern, and that's a concern that I've raised, but looking into it further is going to be really difficult while we can't actually, interrogate him properly. But still.
Alright. Well, I guess Shinichi and I will give it a shot. We're human can openers.
Absolutely. I'm sure we'll be able to get him to, get some information out of him. Won't judge a conclusion just yet over his guilt.
And with that, I think we go and move back to the map real briefly to highlight two things. One, new investigation locations have opened. You can now check out the labs, and you can also check out. Let's go and rotate the classroom where Quinn Commandant is being held. Meanwhile, let's go and check real briefly in with Lucian and Sabine. Let me just go and get that map set up for yous.
Okie doke. I figure in the scene transition, are we going to have the information be relayed via text or something?
Yeah, for sake of expediency, don't worry too much about the sharing of information. That can kind of happen off camera, as it were, just to make things faster. Although if you want to kind of have in-character discussions about who you think culprits are and things like that, we can do that on camera. But let's go and get these in. And then we go and drag Kier and Vega in. God, this song is good.
You're not wrong.
The soundtrack to Paradise Killer is very, very good. I strongly recommend it for those who want to maybe check out their own murder mystery. Take some time to do some murder mystery games themselves. But yes, we reconvene at the statue of Pavo in the middle of Elysium Island. True to Vega's word, Vega and Kier are hanging out near the statue and kind of wave as you approach.
Howdy, Gammas.
Indeed, howdy.
Hi, it's nice to meet you both again. Oh, sorry, this isn't his voice. Kier's voice is a little deeper. It's nice to see you both again. How are you both doing?
Feeling very full. What about you, Sabine?
you took good advantage of the complimentary breakfast. Excellent. The coffee was surprisingly good, if a little weak.
Goin sneezes.
Though, I must say, in spite of that breakfast, I am still hungry for answers.
That one was really bad, Lucian. We gotta work on this.
Kier nods appreciatively.
Lucian writes down in their notepad, hungry for answers, not good.
So before Agent Fields called you in, we were able to do a little bit of research into the main suspect and general research into the academy.
Excellent. But so you don't know anything about the crime itself and the crime scene?
We did get a brief rundown from Cirrus about the nature of that. You can actually go and visit the crime scene yourselves directly if you want to get into Paz's apartment. All you just need to do is have a member of Youngsburg PD escort you.
Well, that's good to know. Okay.
I think that would be quite sensible, Sabine. But while we're here, yes, you said you had some information on Quinn Commandant, I believe.
Yes, that's right. Kier has the rundown for that. So Quinn, as if you've done any kind of like looking into the Elysium Islands and Atomicon Technologies, you might know that Quinn is the son of the CEO of Atomicon Technologies, Truman Commandant. He's not really a genius, but he is pretty shrewd. Apparently he was a terror back in his high school days. He was a student council treasurer, so I hear.
Horrifying.
Although, being the son of the CEO, great things would be expected of him, but it seems that there are a handful of other family members studying on the island, so he might not necessarily be next in line if there are other people who prove themselves to be more worthy, as it were.
Any familial bad blood between the cadet branches?
Kier smiles wryly. I am sure they all hate each other. I don't have any personal experience with the family myself, but drama does, interpersonal drama does trip around. If you kind of look at any of their social media accounts, it's both a mixture of incredibly expensive, young, rich kids of Instagram style stuff, which I say out of character just to give, but you get what I mean. Their social networking is exactly what you'd expect, but also weaved with a lot of sly jabs at other members of the family.
If I had to take a guess, this was some relative of Commandant and got mad because he scratched their fucking new car or something, and then, tried to kill somebody and blame it on him. It's just typical rich person stuff.
Rich people do be like that, Sabine. You make a good point.
That one was less bad, but try to use that one less.
Scribble, notepad. I think, Lucian writes, getting warmer. Okay, out of character question. So, the knife was found in a locker in the chemistry lab?
In the research laboratories.
Research, okay.
Where both apparently Farron and Quinn had research projects.
Okay, yeah, that's the thing I want to know, if there's any reason for him to be in there. Actually, yeah, I think Lucian's going to ask if they know anything about Quinn's research projects, just in case there's anything relevant there.
Nothing in especially major detail. I think he was doing a bit of surface research. It seems that Quinn was working on electronics as their main research project. But the finer details of that I couldn't really tell you. But I'm sure if you asked him yourself, he'd be able to tell you in more detail.
Working on electronics and yet had access to acid. Interesting. Sabine, as long as we're putting, I don't want to say crackpot theories, but as long as we're putting the more elaborate theories on the table, this could also be someone wanting to sabotage Quinn for whatever his research is.
No doubt. That one seems more likely, I think, than the blood feud, but I still wouldn't rule the blood feud out.
It could also be both at the same time.
Why not?
But
Might as well wrap them up into one big.
Lucian writes down Bic, investigate later. Indeed. Well, Sabine.
Ooh. Oh gosh. Hold on. I've lost Discord. Hey, Discord. Hold on a second. Is stream healthy? Stream seems to be running okay. I have lost Discord really briefly. Oh, sorry. I lost Discord for like a fraction of a second. Would you mind repeating that?
I was just saying that Sabine has no questions for them, is interested to go to the crime scene, and wants to exchange contact info with Kieran Vega, so that, if I have more questions after the crime scene, we can chat about them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's be Vega for a while. Absolutely. I'm sure I'm sure Ryder has put the general contact app on your phones. So, yeah, our contact details should be on there. You already know my name now, so you should be able to find me just fine.
Great. Perfect. I will give you guys a call if any burning questions arrive.
Excellent. Well, Sabine, shall we?
Oh gosh, we're still cutting in and out Discord. There we go. Shall we move on? I think I heard.
Let's start walking that way and give a call to the rest of the team, see if we can't do this crime scene investigation together. Might be better than going multiple times and drawing too much attention to our unit.
Sure thing. I'm going to move y'all back to the map for a moment while I go and set up where Shinichi and Goin are speaking to Quinn, and then we can all go to the crime scene together. Does that sound good?
Sure.
Yeah.
Lucian definitely went to give daps to Vega or Kier before leaving.
Kier gives you daps.
Hell yeah.
I think Kier gets on with you a little better than Vega does.
I think so too.
Kier's just cool anyway, so...
Just like Lucian, so...
See? It's a friendship meant to be.
Speak to him a little bit more about hobbies, and you might get a social link up.
Or get a high five from a really stupid joke.
Hey, what can I say? She's easy to please.
Play her just like I did.
Getting right people on the scene. Vamp for 30 seconds. How, what kind of communication, what chat do you have while Goin and Sunichi are making their way over, and I guess kind of either IM you both or have a chat over voice message? What do you all say to each other?
Find anything from Detective Donut Muncher over there?
Yeah, a couple of bits that were useful. I think someone's trying really, really hard to make it look like that Quinn Commandant, son of the CEO's the suspect for this.
That's about what we got from talking to Team Gamma.
Indeed.
There's also something about asphyxiation marks around the victim Paz's neck. That might be something akin to a rope, but it wasn't actually. So I will keep it on the back burner for now, but keep Vine's and Vega's abilities in mind.
Sure, but let's also just remember what kind of crazy things can happen. Not just last week when we dealt with the Queen of Hearts.
Indeed, it could be ribbons. It could even be maybe some kind of copycat Arcana that is imitating her vines or something.
I'm not accusing Vega. I'm just like using that as like, if it's not the conventional stuff, then we have to consider every unconventional thing. And so far,
Of course.
shit finds.
Yeah.
It could be a really long boneless finger.
Could you please get Lucian for me?
I've
Yeah,
updated
I've
the
been
map a
working
little
on
bit with places that you know to investigate and places you're currently at. And with that... Oh, sorry, is there something you wanted to say as well, Sunichi?
Yeah, I'm also going to add the stab wound apparently is not consistent with something like a short-bladed knife.
Apparently, anyone with the correct clearance can just waltz right into the crime scene, so we're going to meet up with you guys, and we should walk over there.
Wonderful. A nice secure crime scene. Love it.
There is... you can hear over, I guess, like... Sunichi's phone, a voice which belongs to one of the police detectives, like knocking on the... Mr. Commandant, we have additional people to interrogate. Oh, come in. I've been looking forward to speaking to some new people today.
Okay, we gotta go. We gotta talk with this court case. Shinichi, real quick. What's the play here? What am I? What are you?
Okay, play I was going to go with was...
What am I?
Tell me who I am.
This is a little bit more of a fan of the opera play, I think, but then we could also go with Rent if you wanted.
Yeah, they're going to get a good roll. I was thinking we imply that we're working with a company, pressure the point quite hard that we're sort of almost trying to spin the story to try and cover up... try and find out what's going on so it doesn't implicate the family. Although he's not sort of in trouble with the police, he's up to his neck in crap with how the family's going. So I was going to go in quite hard, says Sunichi. He'll be sort of pinching his cheeks and practicing his angry face and like his phone.
Okay, so what you need to... Shinichi, you're way too happy. What you need to do is this, and Goin's face or gesture doesn't change, but he just sort of like gestures at his face like, this is what you need to do. Look like this.
Right.
I'll just back you up. I'll just hold on. I'll just, you make the points, and I'll make it seem like I'm pulling you back because you're too worked up. How's that sound?
Okay, I can go. That works.
Yeah.
Oh, I hear. Am I going to be speaking to some new people? I'm very excited.
Presume we'll, having heard that from the outside, come in and slam the door as behind us, and we go in. What a cavalcade of shite you've dropped us in.
Inside the classroom, you see somebody of university age, about 21, standing where the lecturer would be in the classroom, with a whole with the board is covered in kind of of notes and scribbles, but mostly what you notice scrawled onto the whiteboard is "fuck you," and you can already tell that Quinn Commandant is going to be difficult.
Yeah, you've worked yourself in quite the situation, Mr. Commandant.
Oh yeah, this is quite an odd circumstances. After all, I hate being held against my will. But still, it's a nice change from the norm, wouldn't you say? He gestures at a hand for a handshake. It is immaculate. You have never seen anybody with a hand so well manicured, so well moistured.
Ooh.
This ain't the hand of the killer. Let's go, boys.
It's too clean. What's he trying to? What Shane's trying?
I was told there's blood on the hands of the killers. This guy has no blood. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, easy done. Easy done.
Easy done.
Oh yeah, absolutely fine, says Shinichi, looking, trying to build up the sort of level of angriness. Absolutely great being dragged halfway across the city to deal with this sort of cock-up.
Well, that's not really my problem now, is it?
Oh, no, absolutely not. The sort of thing which completely determines your future, whether it's going to be the head of the company in Youngberg or head of the toilet paper distribution in Croydon, where you can't do any more fucking damage.
Oh, it's cute. It's cute. He thinks that he can tell me what I'm going to be doing with my life. That's adorable.
Well, it's not what you can do with your life, it's what your life will be decided on. And right now, it's leaning towards custodian of the toilet.
Do you think we're with these idiots? He'll say, gesturing towards the PD officer or the police outside. We've just walked past them without batting an eyelid. Who do you think we're working for, Sherlock?
Shinichi, give me a convince roll, please.
Yeah, let's do that. What have we got? Could I knock weakens one's faith on there to try and honor shakiness thing? I think that's probably all I can stick on that.
All right.
After this roll, I want to try something.
Okay.
Great success.
Oh,
nice. Ooh, okay. So you can put a tag on Quinn equal to your power. So what tag would you like to put on Quinn?
Concern about future.
Okay, let's see. Quinn frowns and is kind of like, oh, well, I suppose if the powers that be aren't going to be looking after my safety, I could make some new friends and then maybe you could look after me instead.
Look, we're here for damage control. We're here to shut this thing down.
This certainly is a cock-up, isn't it?
Absolutely. So, seeing she'll gesture him to take a seat. What we want to do is we want to get, so we've got what the story is. So for that, I need to fully know how much shit we're currently in and what's how we actually dig our way out of it.
Quinn makes his way off the podium and sits in one of the lecture seats backwards.
Oh, God. Kim, you're there. This is like a mind palace thought.
Oh, I guess. Yeah, what's up?
This guy's too big for his britches, and his britches are...
Oh, I'm still getting
are
confused.
super small, immaculate, and leather.
Yeah,
I hate it. Can you kick him just as like... I don't know. Because I want to use like... I have a specific power for Kim, which is humbling the pompous. And this guy is pompous and needs to be humbled. Humble bundled.
You're aware now of just having used your abilities both within and without of the collective unconscious that major effects outside of that space tend to not be particularly huge. So summoning Kim is not going to be a thing, but fate might not be necessarily on Quinn's side. If you want to make a roll that does something into that nature.
Yeah, exactly. Like I want to just like not. I don't want to possess Quinn. I want to, because that would be horrible. Imagine Quinn being possessed by another hyperactive goblin. Don't want that. But I want him to realize, like, oh, like the cards, like the tower that I've built for myself is like crumbling.
Okay. Why don't you go make a change the game roll as we have this this interrogation / conversation, and we'll see how that change the game roll pans out in terms of what is happening to Quinn in the moment, shall we?
Yeah. For this one, I would like to use my Humble the Pompous.
Makes sense.
And also my Iron Facade to like just make sure like I'm playing the role right now.
Those two make sense. So give me a change the game roll +2.
Change the game. Gonna change the game. We're now playing 5e. Oh wait, that's.
I'd like to roll for elf, please.
Can I be elf? I want to be a health elf. Change the game. Here we go. What is it?
Oh yeah, full success.
Baby.
Nice. Okay. So you can, there's it tells you the effects that you can do here. You can create a story tag. You can remove a story tag, although there aren't any at the moment. You can reduce statuses or increase statuses on people. You can scale up the effect to kind of make the effects of what you're trying to do bigger or wider known, or hide the effect, which might seem appropriate.
Quick question. Do we know if this guy has any siblings?
I think that was mentioned earlier. Yeah.
Family, but I don't know about siblings.
You can ask about his family. The finer details of his relations hasn't been explored yet, but you haven't asked him anything yet.
So I'd like to know. So you're, of course, very comfortable and very secure in what we can do for you, and don't worry, we will fix the situation for you. But
after all, if you did my dad hire you? Because in that case, I fully expect you to do your fucking job.
Oh,
my god, all this time in a fucking expensive school, and the penny finally fucking drops, says Sunichi, lighting a cigarette.
Yeah, your father did hire us, but he also mentioned...
well, I would have figured that if my dad would have hired somebody, he would have hired people who dressed better. But still, beggars can't be choosers now.
That's right. So, I'm gonna take a shot in the dark here. So your dad also mentioned that this is such a huge... If this ever to get out, it's going to be a huge problem. So it's going to have to be a secret. And a secret that we have to hide is also going to be a huge problem. So he also mentioned, just in case, that your cousin is going to be taken over a little bit. There's something changing him. This was a long shot, but...
His expression drops.
Yes!
Oh,
damn,
nice.
the called shot.
Is that almost a fist bump under the table? So.
This is about fucking Charlotte, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is. Let's be real here. We're here to find out exactly how much trouble you're in, what, to quote my partner here, how much shit we have to dig you out of. So yeah, that is honesty on your part that we expect, and you can of course expect honesty from our part, which is, it is about Charlotte.
Oh God. He stretches. I know that she is so incredibly power hungry, but framing people for attempted murder, that's a fucking step too far.
Yeah, I imagine just mechanically this is like for my role, scale up the effect of concerned.
Okay, there we go. That makes sense.
Or whatever, or like introduce a story tag of Charlotte, air, whatever.
Oh yeah, but you have two. You rolled with power 2, so you can do 2 things on that list. So yeah, you can do for both of those things.
Okay, then yeah, I'll do those. He's concerned and create story tag succession.
Cool. For some reason, Discord is giving me fade in, fade outs, but I caught that, and so as a result, they've caught that too. Don't worry. But yeah, you both gained the clue for Quinn Commandant. And go and let me. I should probably go in if this is about and let's have the regular music back in. I suppose if this is about the kind of details at hand, I should probably give you a bit of the rundown about what I've been doing the last couple of days, just so I have a degree of accountability.
Absolutely, absolutely. Glance over to the PD officer. Go on, fuck off.
Off he absolutely does not fuck. You might be able to spin a good tale to impress Quinn, but as far as the PD officer is concerned, you are an annoying kid who's been told to work alongside. He does move next to the door, but he's still definitely in the room. It is his job to keep an eye on you, and he's not going to stop doing that just because you say so. But he moves out of earshot, air quotes, and looks busied.
Last thing we want is one of these minimum wage jockeys going to the sodding press about it.
Well, I have bad news for you, chums. I don't really have much of an alibi. I was all by myself at the time that this all apparently occurred, so I don't really have anybody to talk about my whereabouts. I was just chilling at the crib, as the poor people like to say.
They do like to
Lucy
say
writing
that.
it down.
I was actually writing that down in my
I
notes.
knew it.
I paraphrases it.
You're not even here, Lucian. But yes, I was just chilling back at my place, filing to go and get a request for my ID card, because wouldn't you know, I lost it the other day.
How'd you lose it?
Hell if I know, he shrugs. I'm not really one for keeping an eye on the minutiae. That's what the people I pay for is to do. But still, it hasn't really affected my life too much. I have plenty of toadies among the Elysium Islands to let me into places should the door be locked.
Right, so you haven't actually left the islands.
Why would I need to? There's all I need is right here.
What's the deal with you and Farron?
Oh, we work in the same space. He's also an engineer. Working on an engine of some kind, so I understand. Very cutting edge.
Okay. So, do you know the victim?
Oh, the person who was stabbed. God, like I pay attention to people who aren't part of my inner circle.
Well, I mean, you're implicated in her stabbing, so you best think hard about what you know about her.
Sure. What's her name?
Paz.
It's Paz.
Paz Burnham. Not really ringing a bell, unfortunately. Is she a university student or a high school student? She was in university dorms.
She's uni, yeah.
No, can't say the name necessarily rings a bell, but then if they're not doing me favors for me, and they're not part of my inner circle, then I must say I'm not really paying that much attention.
Alright, cool. Going pretends to write it down.
Yes, so you gain the clue of Quinn Commandant. Quinn Commandant, startlingly well-manicured engineer and CO heir, no alibi, and ID card. He lost it recently, apparently. His cronies let him into buildings.
Right. Okay. So that means that someone might be out there with Quinn's ID card. Interesting. That is interesting. Also, there's something about Charlotte Commandant, I imagine?
Oh, my cousin. No, we don't share the same surname. Her name is Charlotte Washington.
Charlotte Washington. Big name, isn't it?
She is an absolute terror, and only 16.
Only 16, and how old are you? You're 21, right? Not
yeah.
much of a terror. Shame.
Oh, no, not these days. I try to keep my nose clean, except for when I'm being framed for fucking murder.
Exactly, and that's why your father's extremely displeased with you, because you haven't been doing a very good job at keeping your nose out of being framed for murder.
Well, when you are trying to shoot for the king, you best not miss, and I must say, this is the most elaborate prank yet. Although, if you want to speak to my absolute nightmare of a cousin, I do have her phone number.
We'd love to.
She hands it over to... he hands the phone number over to you.
Yep.
Watched a line.
Do you call
All right,
it?
see ya, bitch. Thanks for the phone.
Yeah. Yoink.
Just the phone number, not the actual phone. But
Damn.
yeah. Do you call the number?
Got the digits. We'll do it when he's not in earshot because we have to keep up appearances.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
In that case, I think that is maybe everything in the scene that Quinn can particularly give you. If you want to make any parting words.
I think it'd be presumably stand up and I think right, that'll do for now. We'll probably be back later. Talk to fucking no one.
I must say I am a bit of a chatty Cathy, but I understand the circumstances.
Don't go on Twitter.
Well, I will see you later, and I hope that whatever my dad is paying you can afford you to buy some actual clothes. Ta-ta for now.
Ta-ta.
And,
Yeah, we exit.
Mm-hmm.
That was oddly therapeutic, says Sonichi, sort of relaxing character slightly.
That Goin is out of eyesight of Quinn. He just like I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know. That was the coffee. I think I read a shot. I didn't know there would be a cousin. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was a good guess. While you're out and about, you kind of meet up with Lucian and Sabine as you make your way over to Paz's apartment. Because I believe that was where you guys wanted to choose next. Although you are out of earshot, so you are in a position to make that phone call.
Can't believe that whole WWE succession deal with McMahon and his son-in-law came out in favor. I remember that. It was the biggest thing that happened in 2014, and this is just exactly that. Smells like a scandal.
Oh, you hit the nail on the head, bang on with the guess. I like that.
Do you want to make a call?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Well, should we group gather and then?
We can kind of cut to a period of time where you're all in each other's presence now. While they're on the world map, assume that you can all meet up with each other at any time, just for expediency's sake.
All right, let's everyone, let's meet up here in the middle of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
What? Not for golf?
No, I don't like Jolf. Only pay Yolf.
Frolf.
Let's meet up on top of a giant M.
Cool. This is good and fun.
This is our content. Okay, so yeah, where are we meeting up for real?
If you're making your way over to the dorms,
I'd imagine.
that would be here.
Boink.
Absolutely.
Boink indeed.
Let's go and move that pin out of the way. I do want to double check before I move over because there is a music change if you do it. Do you want to give Charlotte Washington a call?
We definitely need to.
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. It rings for a while. And eventually it picks up. Oh, okay. So...
Fucking kidding.
The Ojo-sama laugh.
So, the character that you are about to speak to is what you would maybe uncharitably describe as absolute Fujoshi bait. And if this was an actual anime produced in Japan, she would use the summer honorific all the time when referring to Charlotte. However, we're not in Japan and I'm not Japanese, so we can decide whether we want to lean into the bit and she uses summer, or we don't. I'll leave that up to table. Genuine question, by the way, before I continue with the scene.
So I don't know what these words mean, but I like when Nathan gets to do the Ojo-sama laugh. So if that's the life they want to lead, then I'm not going to stop them.
Lean hard.
Suggestion. Instead of Sama, because that doesn't make sense in English, she uses royal we.
I guess you are not going to be speaking to Charlotte directly. You are speaking to Charlotte's assistant.
Of course.
Who is going to refer very reverentially to Charlotte with Charlotte Summer, because she's that important. Which is why I'm asking. But yeah. I heard lean in hard, so unless there's any voices to the contrary, okay. You are currently calling the phone of Washington, Summer. This is Leslie Yardley. How can I help?
I stare at Shinichi with panic in my eyes. Please do this.
I'm doing the rolling hand motion, keep going, say something.
Hello? Is there anybody there?
Yes, miss. We're calling on behalf of a concerned family member. Just shrugging slightly, looking slightly panicked himself.
Oh, I see.
If got that Charlotte's cousins has run into a little bit of difficulty over in the
Charlotte's cousin?
Yes. Quinn, thank you.
Right. Well, I'm afraid that Charlotte Summer is not taking any calls from Quinn at the moment. Or ever. However, while Charlotte Summer is very busy at the moment, I would be happy to take any kind of requests on her behalf. I am currently looking after her while she is practicing for the Junior Tennis Championships.
Oh, she plays tennis.
Okay, that's information at least.
Maybe we can invite the assistant to think about, actually going for the succession move. We don't know. It's true.
As I say, she's very busy at the moment, but if you do need to speak to me, either me or her, we will be here for the rest of the afternoon. Is there anything else?
No, that'd be wonderful. Probably a bit easier to talk in person rather than over the phone.
Understandable. Have a pleasant afternoon. And the line goes dead.
Well, let's turn around and walk the other direction then, I guess, right?
We can... I think exploring the apartment is still important, but I wanted to unlock that additional location for you, because obviously it's a place to investigate. With that... Whoop.
Shinichi, when you were calling, when you were on the phone, did you, hear a background music? Because it was the whole voice, the whole setup, it just had this soundtrack. There was a harpsichord. Oh my god.
I'd be very delighted if it was diegetic, but I don't believe it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was on hold music, but we were being taught to.
It just sounded rich.
You make your way to Paz Burnham's apartment. It's pretty lush, actually. It seems that, you have to be pretty rich to go to this university or pass a really difficult. Shinichi, you found out recently that they're quite stringent on who gets to attend the university with really difficult exams, and this seems to be one of the upshots of actually attending this university. But a member of the Jungsberg PD lets you in.
Okay. Right. Let's start turning over the crime scene, like everybody else presumably has for the last 2 days.
Mm-hmm. Who wants to make an investigate roll?
Well, Sabine and Lucian haven't rolled yet, so take it away.
Indeed, I'll step up to the plate.
Thank you. I was gonna say, I don't want to fuck this up.
I'll go investigate the jewelry box.
No, you won't.
Oh.
No, Shinichi, we will investigate that. Wait a second.
Together. I want to protect the smile as it looks over that jewelry box.
Agent's I'm going to be a leader and help you. Oh, wait a second. That was a joke. Let's see. Okay. Trying to figure out what would actually be best to investigate here in the dorms.
Well, actually, while you're thinking, I might as well give you the clue now for Charlotte Washington.
Wait, that's right. There was a bloody knife. It was a kitchen knife.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if, assuming there's is there a mini kitchen unit in this?
There absolutely is. I have information that I can kind of give you about that just by nature of you asking a sensible question. But if you would like to roll for additional kind of details, research, and we can give you all of that in one package.
Sure, I'll die. Let me find out. Let me remember how to die by doing this.
So let me know what tags you would like to use for your investigation roll, for starters.
Okay. I think I'd like to... Let's see. I'd like to think very hard and roll over all of these tags and go, I'm not sure I have a lot here.
I mean, reading between the lines, I think, makes sense on your current listing.
Yeah, maybe hidden connections, too. Okay. I think that's enough, and then I'm probably clicking the button that says investigate, so I'll do that.
Cool.
Hey, mild success. I'll take it.
Okay, with 2. To answer your first question, you go over to the kitchen area, and you can actually see that there is like a knife rack, and there is a knife conspicuously missing. I will also give you this for free with the mixed success. You generally check the drawers and stuff in the kitchenette. You find that there's like a meat skewer. In addition to various other bits and pieces of general cutlery and other things like that. The meat skewer looks clean.
Oh. Huh.
They did say that the stab wound was made by something long and thin.
Yeah.
The police officer kind of comes over and is like, I am actually part of the forensics team. Do you need something checked?
Yeah, can we have a look at we're told the stab wound was inconsistent with a knife, potentially.
I see. And he produces a bottle of luminol, which, if you are a fan of your kind of like Phoenix Wrights and things like that, it's a chemical that will show up stuff like blood stains that have been wiped clean. He sprays the meat skewer, no signs of blood.
Dead end.
Interesting that there's something that would maybe be a match to the wound but does not have blood on it. In addition to that, ask me another question about the scene and I will be able to answer that for you in reasonable detail.
I'm open to suggestions from the other kids on this.
Okay.
Sorry, I think I might have mentioned, and if I didn't, I apologize. This place is also stacked with papers.
Papers. No.
That is good to know.
Investigate those papers.
You look through them all. Sorry, I thought I said. I apologize. They seem to be stuff like fragments of essays and test questions and test answers. All neatly organised, although some have been knocked over, relatively close to the shallow pool of blood near the window where Goyen is standing, which seems to be where Paz was stabbed.
What course was she doing by the looks of the test answers?
Oh, these are about a wide variety of subjects, way more than one person would be studying. And the fact that test answers are here is also of note.
She was running a racket. She was from the summit. Was she doing other people's tests for them?
An interesting theory. Let's see. Shinichi, in your little kind of like exploration of the space, you check You go everywhere and even check the fridge. There are 3 pizza boxes in there that you recognise.
Uh-oh. the fridge just suddenly slammed. Yep, nothing in there.
Shinichi, you know that those pizza boxes are full of study pills.
Yep. Could I just have a quiet huddle away from the Youngsburg PD officer, everyone?
What's up?
Yeah, there's several pizza boxes in there, which I delivered to the island.
I didn't know you had a day job.
It's more of a night job, if I'm perfectly honest. They're full of study drugs.
Goen goes, aha! Drugs, like the coffee.
Slightly more extra legal than coffee, says Sunichi, squirming slightly.
I take it that's extra legal as an outside legal, not intensely legal.
No, Dwayne, it's doubly legal, so you're good to do this stuff. Go over and get that pizza box, my friend.
Yeah, I'll grab a pizza box.
Sure, you do. You retrieve it, and as to your expectations, there are indeed smaller boxes filled with pills inside.
I shall look surprised.
Why did you say it out loud?
Just roll with it.
But for the most part, I think that is everything that is important in this space.
Okay.
We can discuss this outside when he's not on our neck.
In fact, let's do just that.
As we're moving outside, I do kind of like the idea of Lucian going, okay. So you remember it was just a theory I was putting forward about the rope being a long boneless finger. Now, if this Arcana can bend metal, it's possible that the rope was actually the bent meat skewer. Though it does seem more likely that they were just stabbed with the meat skewer and that it was cleaned in some kind of very potentially magical or Arcana-related way. But you have to be prepared for every possibility.
Yeah, I mean, if we are dealing with Arcana, there's no reason they couldn't have taken the murder weapon away.
Exactly. We're not even sure if the skewer is the murder weapon and then was cleaned off.
It crosses your mind, and I'm happy to kind of give you this in the space. If the skewer was the murder weapon, why would that not be used to plant evidence on, rather than a knife that maybe doesn't match the wound correctly?
The person who's framing isn't actually aware what happened.
Yeah,
Actually, let's go and switch to some discussion kind of music, because I'll give you a moment to kind of discuss what you've kind of found out so far, and then we'll go for a break, and then resume.
Cue the Danganronpa conclusion music.
No, that's too intense. Let's go for this one, since this is now theme of Elysium Islands. While you discuss.
Yeah. Alright, so we found out a couple things. Namely, is that the bloody knife was used to frame Quinn, who has no real connection to the victim, Paz. But he immediately suspected, like, he dropped when I mentioned his cousin, Charlotte Washington. So I think she might be a player in this as well.
yeah.
We should consider, I'm quite good at making these loosely possible but out there theories. Does Paz have any grudges against him? She would be someone who has easy access to her own blood. Who knows?
To Paz's blood.
Yeah, Paz's blood. She would have access to her own blood.
I'll let you speak in just a moment, but something that occurs to me is that if someone's trying to get at Quinn, essentially I'm thinking if this could have maybe been a two birds with one stone scenario, or some such as if Quinn has been getting by not by their own merits, but by Paz's, their connections to Paz, then taking Paz out of the picture would have just forced Quinn to flunk. So that could be.
Right. And that would.
Paz. Do we know what Paz's pronouns are?
I think that would probably be on the medical report. She, her.
Okay. She may have been useful to someone here and taken out as a result of that, or tried to be.
I mean, I think the one contact we've not looked at from the angle of the study drugs and people on the course, Farron Wyndham was the chap who I sold these particular items to. Oh, sorry, I ferreted these items to. who we've already learnt was Quinn's colleague in the engineering labs.
Right.
When I met Farron, he was very, very stressed, commenting about the pressures of the exams and needing the drugs to keep himself awake a bit. And then you've got, obviously, Quinn himself, was not displaying anywhere near that level of stress or pressure. So I think there's a potential link in there somehow. There's some sort of sabotage gone on in the lab that Farron was involved in.
Right. Marcy, you said something?
I just said that I definitely want to speak to that guy.
Yeah.
To Farron, sure.
It's,
Sunichi, you have Farron's number.
I
Do you want to have that conversation now or on the other side of the break?
I think they are still discussing some clues.
Sure.
Because I want to, like, Goin's wondering, how come, like, what's Farron's link to Paz then? Like, if you vary the pro studying pills to the Farron, how do they end up in
Paz's possession?
Yeah, what's the link between Farron and Paz?
Apparently, he didn't
someone
meet
that close to Commandant. I think just needs to be spoken to, no matter what.
Absolutely.
Well, Paz is available to speak to in the hospital.
Oh, I thought she wasn't.
No, she is. It's why there's a marker for the hospital. She's alive, so you can speak to her.
Yeah, but did you mention she's not available to talk to earlier?
Did I?
Yeah.
If I did, then I misspoke.
Oh
No. Charlotte Washington is unavailable to speak to. She's very busy practicing tennis. Paz is in the hospital, so she ain't going nowhere right now.
Have we ever seen Paz and Charlotte in the same place at the...
We've never even seen Charlotte or Paz, so it's entirely possible.
God, this thing is blown wide open.
Yeah.
Are there any other discussion points you'd like to make? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Sunichi.
So it was probably going to be the so people we've obviously got to talk to, Farron, and the like. Do a couple of us want to? One of us maybe get on our tennis gear, and one of us dress up as a ball boy, and maybe make our way across to the tennis courts as a disguise.
You really like disguising, don't you, Shinichi?
Not necessarily me. I probably look terrible in a
He just
tennis
likes
skirt.
wearing the fake mustache.
No, you know what? I'm getting into it. I liked being assistant badass. I think it's the coffee, but I'm connecting to some other part of myself. I feel my soul increasing, expanding horizons. I can feel the cosmos.
I can feel your feeling the cosmos going.
Join me.
Okay, I think this is a good tone to go into the break on. Going spreading their arms wide, like catching behind them. Join me. Okay. I believe Lucian hasn't done the Arcana Core eye catch bit yet, so let's. I'm gonna go and. Get the music playing, give it a couple seconds, then say Arcana Core dramatically, and then we'll be right back.
Will do. Arcana Core. Arcana Core.
Welcome back, everybody. I messed up the transition really briefly, but we did it. We nailed it. There we go.
I wasn't sure whether you or I were saying that.
You
time.
did that perfectly. I switched to the wrong screen really briefly on stream. But we back. I hope everybody's hydrated and having fun. Thank you everybody for joining us so far. I hope this particular tale is intriguing.
Oh, hello. We're all French now.
Let's see.
Oh, wait, Watto's here.
No, we're not bringing that bit back.
You're not, but I am.
Oh boy. Right, to go and swiftly resume to where we were at previously. We were having a little chat about looking into visiting Ms. Washington. Washington Summer, and also potentially speaking to Farron Wyndham. Paz is also available to speak to. I think, Sunichi, you're in a position to give Farron a call because you already have his number.
Absolutely. We'll put it on a group thing. We'll pop up a quick line.
Good afternoon. This is, you work for Baza, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's more a bit of a social call, actually, Farron. We're just visiting Ireland, just seeing a few friends we've got over here, actually, on short notes. I was wondering if you'd be free for a quick chat at some point. Something's come up that might be worth us having a little bit of a chinwag over.
You're telling me that something's come up. First, my friend I found has been stabbed. Now I've found out that the thing I've been working on for the last 3 months is now ruined. I am a little indisposed in that I can't really leave the labs right now. I'm currently busy picking up the pieces, figuratively and literally, but if you're in a position to pass by, I can speak to you.
Would love to. We'll come over a couple of friends a bit later. Do I think picking up whiskey?
There's a pause in the background in a kind of way that you then may be tempted, and he's like, no, it's fine. Thank you. Alright, so Sunichi's going to the labs. Who is joining Sunichi?
I want to come.
Goin and Lucian, are you good to head to the tennis court?
I think so. I think, actually, instead of going to the tennis court, it might be better to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
The tennis court is going to be kind of a... we're going to want to go there to give the clap back, as it were, once we have all of our information assembled.
Tennis court clap back of history.
Interesting. So Sabina going there, and Lucian going to go to the hospital. Okay, let me go and get one of those scenes set up for you. Which one do we want to do first?
I think...
Let's do the lab first.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm curious about the lab.
So that is Sunichi and Sabine. So give me a second to get the map right. There is the lab map. We have Sunichi, we have Sabine, we have the Jungsberg PD officer who needs to be there. You're not allowed to be there otherwise. And we also have Farron. Okay. Let's pull everybody over. What tunes do we have for the lab? Ah, it's back to box 15. Nice.
Lucian slides in the background playing guitar.
Yeah. So this is both a chemistry and engineering research lab within Atomicon University. You need key cards to be let in, but it seems that the Jungsberg PD have been given clearance and a temporary card that lets them get into various areas of the building. You go in to find that there are there's lockers all along one side of the room, marked with names. And Farron working at one of the desks.
Hey, Farron. Good to see you.
Hi, good afternoon.
Sorry, you're having a bit of a crap day.
Oh my god, yes, I am.
So, it's my friend Sabine. We're currently having a look around the island, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to meet you, Farron. I also get stuff from the ferret.
Pleasure to meet you both, as Farron, I think, actually does give you both a formal handshake and everything to introduce you. Yeah, this is what my life has been for the last 3 months, and I guess now is going to be for the next 3 months.
Yeah, we've been hearing some stuff. Some, not to want to pry too much, but I hear your lab partner's a bit shit.
Yeah, I got notification that Quinn Commandant has apparently decided that his particular research project is not going to cut it on its own, so he has to go through the lengths to sabotage mine. Great. Just great. And you can see on the desk there is him working on a new engine and the melted remains of what looks like some kind of turbine engine also on the desk. It is thoroughly fucked, to use the technical term.
There's your problem.
Yeah, I'm no engineer, but that looks thoroughly fucked, I think the correct terminology was.
Yeah, him and that and my locker, and he gestures over to the wall, and you see one of the lockers, the door has been melted open.
I'm going to assume that that's our blaze.
And there is an acid flask on one of the tables nearby.
Did they take anything from your locker?
No, just fucked it up.
Shit. I have a wander down. Here's what's his face? Is Quinn's locker in here?
I was.
Yeah.
Why don't you give me an investigate roll?
Yeah. Let's have a quick see if there's any tags I can add. No, that's too many things to click on. I'm sure I've Sonichi written on.
Can I assist at all?
Assisting is a weird thing in this game, so I wonder if there is a sensible way to... Actually, why don't you both give me an investigate roll while you search different areas of the space?
Yeah, no.
I have two social links with Sonichi.
So, we haven't really used social link stuff yet. If you can use 1 point of a social link to re-roll any roll, so if you're unhappy there is a result, you can spend a social link point to re-roll it. If you spend 2 points, you can use their special ability, which is custom tailored to the Arcana that they're part of, that has a different effect depending on whether you're using it in the real world or the collective unconscious. So let's go and double check.
I got what mine was.
So Shinichi's, if you're using Shinichi's social link, if you use it in the real world, it is delinquent standards. When committing a minor crime, you may automatically succeed instead of rolling. Take status guilty 3.
Can I do that to find his locker? Is this kind of like a criminal
Wait.
thing?
Find and break into his locker, possibly.
Right.
That sounds like a great way to do. Oh, okay. So we can absolutely have that happen. Do we want to do that before or after Sonichi makes their investigate roll, so I don't double up on the information you get?
Let's do it instead of the investigate roll, because that way we don't have to roll anything and we can get information.
That sounds good to me. Cool.
Do we get the social link flash up in big letters as the special moves being used?
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that. Give me a second to go and make that happen.
And you said I get guilty 3, correct?
Because you broke the law in a small but kind of still notable way, and you feel bad about it.
Her first real crime in a very long time.
Activate social link, devil. So yes.
I walk up to it and just kick it with my boots.
You, for some reason, you suddenly know how to pick locks, and you don't this part of your brain, this memory, this information just fired, and you're not quite sure where you gained that information from, but you suddenly have a really in-depth understanding of how these lockers might work. And you take a glance at Quinn Commandant's locker, because that one is undamaged, or at least not damaged in the way that Farron's definitely is ruined. It seems that these are unlocked using a keycard, for one. 2, as you continue to kind of inspect this almost safe, you see that there is a small hole in one corner of the locker door, and this hole has been the metal around it has been bent. Something long and thin, but maybe not quite the right size, has been shoved into that hole.
Sneaky. This is our clue.
No, indeed.
You look at another locker, and there's a hole in the exact same place, but it's not. The metal around it isn't bent. In fact, you then, trying to test out a theory, go and find you're in a science and engineering lab. Finding a long metal implement isn't too hard, and you use it to try and pick open one of the other lockers, and nothing happens.
I can open his though by picking the lock like that.
I think simultaneously, Sunichi, you're looking around the room, and you find near like the back wall where I guess where a teacher might be standing. I'll ping it on the screen, although it's not really important. At like the far end, you find that there is a pedal behind the desk that says "Emergency Locker Release."
Okay, that seems relatively important information.
To tie all that information together, sorry to handhold a little bit, but I'm also being time expedient a little bit. Sunichi, you push down on that pedal while Sabine pokes one of these lockers, and with both of you doing it at the same time, the locker opens.
Heyo.
Ah. So whoever did this, we need 2 people.
At the very least, that pedal is nowhere near any of the doors.
We know this was at least a 2-man job.
You unlock 2 pieces of information simultaneously. Lab lockers and broken lock. Let's go and give that all information to you. Give me a second to go paste that into the chart so everybody can see.
Do I find anything good in his locker?
In Quinn's locker,
Yes.
you see a what looks to be circuit boards, and an empty acid bath. Let's see. I suppose this isn't information you wouldn't really know what those pieces of information mean. But there is another engineer in the room if you wanted to ask him. There's also a blood stain in there, but you can probably guess where that came from.
Hey, Farron, why don't you take a look at this? Don't worry about how I got into it.
About Quinn's engineering project.
Yeah, what's up with the acid bath and the circuit boards and everything else?
So, while my particular research project is making a new, more efficient form of engine, Quinn's project was actually making a new type of circuit board using a particular alloy that the circuits are embedded into. To be able to make printed circuit boards, you etch the design using a computer and then dunk it in an acid bath to remove the excess. Because of the nature of the alloy that Quinn was using, he needed specific acid. Which, gesturing towards the flask on the table, it's pretty undeniable that it would have been his acid that did the job. After all, it was able to melt surprisingly sturdy things on my engine.
Yeah, but if you're using an acid wouldn't that melt away the entire circuit board?
As I say, the alloy that he was using was special, and this acid is strong enough to remove the things it needs to remove, but not strong enough to damage the circuit boards. It'll probably damage most other metal, though. He says, gesturing in a way that says, well, evidently.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have much interaction with Quinn himself, or...?
He likes to talk a lot, but we're not necessarily friends or anything. I know that he exists, though. Who doesn't on this island?
And this might be a bit of an awkward question. Paz, how to go about this delicately. How close are you to her? You've been to her apartment recently?
He starts in alarm, but doesn't offer a response to that question. It might require a convince roll.
Okay, because let me just put this away, because obviously we're on your side here, and I make it relatively clear that we're having a little bit of a look into things that have gone down recently, and the fact that certain product was found in those apartments along with certain test papers. We're certainly not going to make any accusations to anything. Nothing we discuss are going to particularly leave this room, but it might be quite a good idea to maybe, give us any info that you've got so we don't go sniffing down the wrong tracks, that sort of thing. So I'll go for a convince roll, possibly clacking on perfect pitch.
Yeah,
to
that makes sense to me. A mild success. He says, yeah, I know Paz, but then if you've been following what's been going on here, you probably know that she's been injured recently or attacked.
Mm-hmm.
This is all Quinn's fault, I'm sure. This is all related to whatever the hell is going on with him at the moment. But why does he need to drag other people into this?
I don't know. I've got a leaning that, although he's involved in it, he doesn't strike me as the sort who'd stab someone. He sounds like the sort who'd pay someone to stab someone for him. But I don't think he's stupid enough to put a knife in his own locker.
Either way, all that really matters is that my friend is in hospital with a stab wound, and my project that I've been working on for nights at a time, sacrificing my test scores to get this right, is now ruined, and I have to start over. And none of this would be an issue if Quinn wasn't such a shit. He looks genuinely quite upset.
Yeah.
Quinn absolutely is a shit, but you have to admit that he's innocent. The ways that we talked about it there, I wouldn't hold it against him for what happened to Paz, because I don't think he had anything to do with it. But him being an asshole, yeah, that much is true.
Well, maybe even if he was innocent, maybe he needs to do the time for something, Farron says darkly.
Sabine being rich, I agree.
Sabine, where you're standing, you're actually standing quite close to the acid flask that was placed on the table near the melted locker, and you take a look at it, which I'll just give you for expediency's sake. And you also rolled really well in other bits and pieces, so we can have this happen. The flask itself, there's very little acid left in it now. The dregs of it. It seemed like it was... you look at the floor and there is a massive burn in the floor. So it seems like the flask was dropped. But there also seems to be like a weird smear on the side of the flask. Leaning a little closer, you see that there's... wispy melted plastic, maybe fibers of some kind, and then a smear that you definitely recognize to be blood, and then within that a smear that is, well, it's black blue ink.
Yeah, ink. Huh. I suppose we don't have any way to see whose blood that is, do we?
No, you're not in a position to check right now. Although, you could probably, if you get the PD officers, attention, they could probably go check it for you.
See if we get a match.
Steal it.
I mean, yeah, but you don't know any forensics people. So, being able to get that information yourself would be quite difficult.
Would Ryder not have a forensics lab?
Feasibly, but you'd have to get it off the island, and, that would take time.
I suppose we can just ask him for help, then.
Mm-hmm.
What about...
Ooh, actually, this...
Top jaw.
I was going to maybe do this in a different scene, but Sabine wasn't there for it, so actually, let's go do it now. You hear... a voice echo. Sabine specifically, you hear a voice echo in the room. That's loud. Let's turn that down slightly. There we go, that's better. There's a ridiculous amount of injustice going on here. But then, you're in a position to solve that, Sabine.
Is this who I think it is?
Look. Appearing behind Farron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is.
This one is clearly not especially innocent by themselves. You might not have any reason to form a grievance against him, but clearly he's doing wrong. You can use me to make the wrong things right again.
What, you want me to stab him or something? Come on.
Well, he's beneath you. He's a wrongdoer. You want to punish wrongdoers, I know. After all, you were wronged yourself, and you don't want that to happen to anybody else. That would make you a hypocrite.
Of course I don't want it to happen to anybody else. Of course he is a wrongdoer, but I can't just going around...
Shinichi, Sabine is talking to themselves.
Ah, crap. I shall elbow over and give her a slight nudge. It's been cigarette.
Does
Looking
this
out of it.
knock me out of it?
Sure. Yeah, I think you look away, and then when you look back again, layers, come on. They are
Sorry, I
no longer
talked
there.
to myself organizing crime scenes and evidence. Yeah, smoke would be good. Let's get some fresh air.
Yeah. Have a chat.
The Jungsburg police officer kind of moves over and says, "Did you find anything interesting?"
We do kind of... If you could take a look at that beaker there with the acid in it, there's some blood on there, and I'm just curious to see if it's, the perp's blood.
The officer leans in and looks at it. Well, it seems that it's melted synthetic fibers and blood. It seems that, at a guess, without having to take it in, somebody was maybe wearing gloves, and the acid spilt on their hands, and the gloves didn't do too much to stop the bite of the acid. I can look into the blood for you, but that might have been damaged with the acid also touching it.
If you could just look into that, that would be great. How fortunate for the whoever did this that they were wearing gloves at the time.
Yeah, very, very handy.
Although very likely that they still have some form of a hand wound.
Show me your hands, Farron.
Farron starts in surprise and puts their hands up. Their hands are definitely greasy from having worked on this particular engine probably all day, but there seem to be no particular wounds on the hands.
Put your damn hands back down, Farron.
You're accusing me now?
Nobody's
No.
innocent in this thing, not until we get the proof.
Well,
We just wanted to check your cuticles, honestly, says Shinichi. Disarming.
he doesn't laugh, but he goes, well, I have a lot to be getting on with, so if there's nothing else.
Pretty, fortunate for you that your biggest competition here in this lab happens to get, locked up for murder. Or attempted, at least.
Are you kidding? My engine was far more interesting and useful. The grants that I was getting to finish this thing were more money than I'd ever seen before trying to work for this particular place. Now I have to start over.
But yes, more grants, more time in academia.
Farron's now actually mad. That seems to have pushed the button. I worked so fucking hard, and it's all been You're wasting. I'm wasting my energy on you when I should be trying to actually get back to zero again.
Yeah, working on fixing your own mistake. All right, you have a good one. Good luck repairing that engine.
And you make your way out of the scene. Because we know where we're going next, I'm not going to pull you back to the map because I can just kind of switch things over. But I'm just going to pull everybody away and then go map. You can see me change the scene live.
Ooh.
Did you say you? Sorry, did we want to go to the hospital or the tennis court? I forget. The hospital, right?
Hospital.
Yeah, hospital, yeah.
Cool.
Oh. Nathan, did you see the DM is in you?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
conspiring behind the scenes. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. We're gonna go and flip this token around.
Flip.
Flip it good.
And then we're going to go back to objects and tokens. The fact that there should be a keybind to switch layers, because having to mouse over every time is actually kind of frustrating. But there we go. You make your way to the Elysium Islands Hospital to go and speak to Paz Burnham. Yeah. Paz is sitting up, and they're reading a book, and just generally they see there's a massive kind of like bandage over their right shoulder. It seems that's where they were stabbed, as well as gauze around their neck.
Sorry, I'm Lucian. I'm not good with hospitals.
No, it's all right. I can take the lead here.
Thanks.
There is something about, well, all hospitals have this weird liminal space. It's very often, when you're walking through the halls, there are very rarely windows, and when you're traveling from location to location, it feels like you're not even really in this world anymore, but not necessarily between the world of reality and fiction, but between life and, well,
It is an interstice, absolutely. And for Goin, hospitals have a loaded meaning, because his mom is sort of like a figure of mystery in his life. He does not know her. According to his dad, she is in Busan, Southern Korea, where she is stuck in a hospital and could not move to the States or wherever Youngsburg is, honestly, with them. And all he knows about her is that she smells nice, she's in a hospital, she's sick. And now he looks around, and he kind of as they walk toward Paz's room, he sort of peers intrusively into each room, hoping to find his mom there, even though that's just a long shot. There's no way that would happen. There's no way she would be in there, but he's just hoping, doing it anyway.
Goin, you think about two things. You think about the dragonfly-shaped hanbok pin you've been seeing in your dreams lately. You also think about the nature of turning fiction to reality. You wonder if you dreamed hard enough, if you believed hard enough, if you were able to understand your mythos, would that be able to change things like making sick people healthy again? Move them from liminal space from one hospital to another? It seems that the tarot card that you found on the Red Queen, or Yusuke Tenma, was an entirely fictional object made tangible, existing in the real world. It took a lot of belief in a fiction to make that real, but it's possible.
Yeah, there's a moment where Goin is closing his eyes as he's walking, and suddenly it flashes to a scene where the perspective is much lower to the ground, as if he's smaller, and he's looking up, and there's the backside of a woman with long black hair, wearing mom clothes, honestly, 90s mom clothes, and there's sunlight, the sun is shining, it's a bright sky, there's flowers everywhere, there's some dragonflies in the garden, and then she turns around and suddenly just a crass, cross-hatched black stripes over the face, and he shudders, starts awake as they arrive at Paz's room.
You have found a back road to the clue of fictional objects in the real world.
Going, you okay?
Wait, is Sabine in this scene?
I don't think so.
You didn't elect to be, but you can. It's no big deal if you're if you want to be here also.
I thought we all went to the hospital together. Might be. Nope. I would be. I forgot that we're still split up. Might be.
Yeah. No problem.
Well, yeah. Lucian puts a hand on your shoulder. Hey, you doing okay?
Yeah. I'm fine. Just need to not think about hospitals. It's like a weird memory, but not really a memory. I just get weird vibes here. I don't know.
It's okay. Take care of yourself. As I said, I can take the lead here if you need to.
No, I'm here. Listen, I'm in this too. We're a team, and I gotta pull my weight. Doesn't matter if I'm scared, crapless or not.
Lucian goes in for daps.
He gives them one. Yeah.
Character.
One dap acquired, added to inventory.
You know what? You know what? You know fucking what?
You know what?
Get that social link.
Go
Oh,
in.
yay.
Social link.
Let me go and actually find Lucian's social link. Give me a second. It's here somewhere. You get it, but give me a second to actually find the artwork.
Well,
Oh no, did I not import it? I did. Good. Thank God. That would be a bummer. It's like, after all that, no, you can't form a social link. It's impossible.
Well, you spend time vamping, so roll to
Social link up. You gain 1 social link point with Lucian.
did you just hear that, Lucian? It's like someone announced that we became closer. It's weird.
I just heard a ding noise.
Must have been the wind.
Would you say that my level has increased?
Yeah, I feel 1 point better about you.
If I was to quantify it.
If I had to measure how closer to you I feel right now, it's about 1
Oh,
point.
hey, I think this is Paz's room.
Yeah. Paz sits up. Hello.
Okay. Excuse us. Can we come in?
Sure. I don't believe I've met either of you before.
Yes, my name's Lucian. This is Goin. We are sorry to hear what's happened to you. We're investigating the circumstances around that. And
well, I think somebody did kind of come over to take my statement before. And I must say, my memory of it is a little fuzzy, but I can go over it again if you need me to.
sure, why don't we start there?
So, it was late, I guess, at this point, because it's the next day, 2 nights ago? Or maybe about very, very late the day after, I guess it was a Thursday. Maybe around 2 a.m.-ish. I was finishing some work, and then I noticed that there was an intruder in my room, and I before I could really do anything, they had me by the throat, and I couldn't really see them. I could hear their voice. It was a bit garbled, like it was being talked through like a helmet or something. And then I was stabbed by a sword. Which makes no sense. Who has a sword?
Sword.
But I mean, I was caught unawares and super delirious, so that's silly. It couldn't have been something like that.
No, it's okay. You're doing very well, thank you. And I'm sure this is very hard for you to remember. But have the doctors said anything about when you get to be back on your feet?
Well, fortunately, where I was stabbed wasn't anywhere especially life-threatening, although my right arm's now pretty messed up. I guess I'm going to be in physio for a while, but I have...
Sorry.
There's a pause. A lot of ions... did Discord...
Yeah, Discord popped me out.
I have physiotherapy lined up, but I have a lot of... And she pauses. Irons in the fire at the moment, and I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be getting back to them anytime soon.
Is
It's
it...
Vriska.
It's Homestuck, isn't it? No. Is it about... And Goin briefly looks at Lucian, like, should I just, like, drop the ball?
Well, don't drop the ball, but you can drop the bomb. Lucian nods.
Oh yeah, drop the ball. Yeah, right, I got mine. Sorry, English not my native language. Oh, got
No
my
problem.
metaphors mixed
Might
up.
be dead.
Well, I'm dead now. And drop the bomb. So is it about you making tests for other people? Don't worry, we won't tell anyone. But we found out. we found your death. Yeah.
We normally wouldn't be bringing it up, but it may be connected to why and how this happened.
Well, I suppose I suppose while I'm away from my room, when I was attacked, I didn't get the chance to put everything away. So I suppose the secret's out, whether I want it to or not. There's been some policy changes at Atomicon, both the high school academy and the university. They've opened up who can really apply to the schools. Usually the tuition fee is so high it kind of rules out a lot of people. They've lowered the entrance fee, but they've made the place more stringent by making the tests a lot harsher and letting people go if they don't consistently meet test scores. Everybody's really worried about whether they'll be able to stay at the school. So,
unless they've got a hook.
The really, really rich kids aren't worried. They can just kind of increase their charitable donations, but...
Right. You're not a rich kid.
No, not really. Or at least, I was able to afford my initial tuition in the previous years, but my parents find it really hard to keep up with that amount of money every year. There's no way I'd even be able to afford my third year if we were at the old costing, so the fact that the tuition fees lowered was good, but this is, I don't know, maybe I'd prefer to not finish my third year if I have to live like this.
You got over the threshold, so that's still a good thing.
And then there was a concern about whether we'd even be able to pay the reduced tuition fees, so I had to think about other ways of income, and...
So, how broad has your clientele been? Have you been working with just a few students, or do you tend to work with a wide array of students?
The enterprise is pretty small. I'm doing a business degree, so... And she chuckles humorlessly. I know some things about being able to delegate tasks. While a lot of it runs through me and my establishments, some of the kind of like handoffs for stuff or pickups are done by a handful of people that I trust. If it's all the same to you, I won't give any names. Although, really, I haven't been able to contact many of them recently. I wonder if they've been, well, found out.
We kinda, I look at Lucian, we kinda need to confirm one name.
At least.
Yeah.
Paz.
Oh,
Goyen, would you like to?
No, you got this.
Right. Paz, I understand your discretion in not sharing your clientele, but there is one student at the very figurative tips of our tongues right now that whether they've been getting your assistance is quite important. Quinn Commandant.
Oh, well, he doesn't really need to worry about anything like this. After all, he's the son of the CEO. He could gain zeros on every test that he does and still probably graduate.
Joys of meritocracy, I suppose.
That's all you get, like the most tired hair.
Yeah, no, that checks out. She wouldn't give up his name if you were caught.
Oh no, she's not lying, but
Yeah.
that Quinn Commandant is not somebody who is currently involved in the purchasing of tests or the other enterprise, which you could probably infer, although she's not said aloud.
Then that little shit was telling the truth. Can't believe it. Not a rich person gets off free. No.
This is bullshit, man.
This is bullshit. Nathan, revise, rewind. I want
do the rewind card.
Yeah.
I mean, we can engage in rewind if you would seriously like to kind of talk about the nature of Quinn's role in this particular story.
No. I think we're
just being Marcy and Ruben, I think.
Okay.
Paz, one more name. Just to be sure. Farron?
Yes. fortunately, I've still managed to stay in contact with him. A lot of the people that I've worked with have, as I've said, been uncontactable for the last couple of days. But he was running some items for me recently. I received them okay. So, and he doesn't seem to have been hurt. He's not been hurt, has he?
No, he's fine. He's just been worried about you.
Well, tell him I'm fine, I guess, if you know him.
Will do. Will do.
So,
It has not been directly mentioned out loud, but I think you can probably infer the final clue. I've revealed the token for that, the study drug racket.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that one, yeah.
I will also post that clue in chat.
One very final question, Paz, and this is this one's bad to think about. So if it gets too heavy, just tell me you don't want to answer yes. But do you remember exactly what strangled you? What kind of material? How it felt? Metallic or soft?
Metallic? She thinks and worries about it for a while.
Lucian raises their finger in the air, starts to wiggle it, and then goes, "No, wait, I won't interrupt."
Extending finger.
She looks kind of surprised and quizzical. As I say, the whole memory of the event was really weird and hazy, and nothing made sense.
Yeah.
Which is
yeah, Lucian and Goy share a pointed look.
I could have sworn that I was strangled with ribbon.
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 Actually, that's very helpful. Thank you. And I'm sorry I made you think about that.
She shakes her head. Don't worry about it.
Was that well?
Lucian goes down to their notepad. Notes strangled with ribbon, question mark, parentheses. I said ribbon earlier. Hell yeah.
I can't wait to tell
absolutely
Peyton
did.
about this.
And then a picture of two stick figures high-fiving each other.
Let's hide those. Unnecessary information needs to be removed. Go away, Youngsburg PD officer. Okay.
Oh no! I've been defeated.
To the Shadow Realm.
I thanked him. He's done finally.
She winces and holds her shoulder. This still really hurts, and I guess I should. I've been spending a long time reading because I can't really do anything else with my time, but I should probably rest for now.
Right. Thank you very much for speaking with us candidly, and wish you a speedy recovery. And I hope you can find a little less pizza in your diet.
Wink.
She does not wink there.
She looks oddly at you and thinks about it for a second, and then goes like, raises her eyebrows in a "they knew," but doesn't say anything. As you make your way away from the scene.
The most sinister thing to say to someone. We know about your drug habit, by the way. Bye.
Okay. So there is an interesting bit of a scene change. We've already previously agreed that everybody is going to be making their way to the tennis courts collectively to go and speak to, at the very least, Charlotte Washington's assistant.
And we're also going to play some 2v2.
Yeah, we're gonna have to play like Charlotte and assistant versus two of us. That's gonna be a thing, right?
Maybe. Do we have time for that? I do want a boss fight. But
you want a boss fight in this session?
Yeah.
Maybe.
The court. Bring it on.
Yeah. Okay, so on the way there, Sneechy, you are following Sabine on the way to the port to be able to take the boat over to the Elysium Island Minor, which has both the golf course and the tennis courts. And while you're walking through the kind of shop streets, an old storefront catches your eye.
Ooh.
The scene, I think the scene has changed for everybody, I think. Yeah, it should have done. Good. You take a look at it. It seems kind of out of place compared to the other shops. Like, it's old, way older than any of the incredibly modern, clean buildings. But it's slotted in as if it has always been there. And you can see that there's a sign that says that this place does fortune telling. You recall your dream. The desert of pages and a hand descending from the heavens, offering you the ability to be the protagonist in your own story. You rebuffed them at the time, but they did say that should you ever change your mind, all you need to do is visit.
Ooh, very, very tempting. The handle sort of hover over the door handle for just a moment. However, will shake his head and pull it back. Not quite yet, he'll say.
Give me a change the game roll, please.
Okay. Where are we? Do I have any relevant tags to add to this?
I think the nature of this role I'm making you do is that this is a the powers that be clearly respect your agency, but they are also trying to influence you.
Okay.
Resisting their call will take some doing on your part.
Okay. Mild success. Okay.
I am going to give you a difficult choice.
Okay.
Either
Don't do it!
you mark one crack on your logo's theme fixer, or I lock out. I will burn 2 tags of my choice, or a guess of their choice.
Ooh.
Holy shit.
Ooh, that will actually break Fixer as well.
So basically,
Which-
you lose access to some tags for a while,
Mhm.
And I will choose them as they become relevant. Or you can mark crack on Fixer, which would break that theme.
Yeah, and convert it to a Logos, wouldn't it?
A Mythos one, yeah. You
Mythos,
become
sorry, yeah.
more weird as a result.
Do it.
Wonderful. Sunichi, I suppose the I assume the outcome of this doesn't differ whether I go into the shop or not.
You don't go into the shop, but it seems that some residual psychic energy crackles through you as you actively try and resist, and it has this effect on you.
So I think from Sneak's perspective, it'll definitely be him more choosing to embrace the Logos in his own, embrace the Mythos in his own choice, rather than letting the manipulator behind the scenes do it, which they're technically doing anyway, but we'll gloss over that. So I will probably almost a mental image of seeing himself reflected in the glass of the shop in his sort of whatever it is he wears, his come on, Bryn, work. Deliveroo-esque outfit, and sort of shaking his head and saying, "No, I can be better than this," and stepping away from it, and I will crack Fixer.
You no longer have access to any of Fixer's tags.
Oh my god.
Next session, you will have a Mythos theme to replace it.
Hell yes. I didn't think it was going to be Sunichi first who broke their first logo, but well.
Do you have... We don't need to think about the finer mechanics of it, but do you have an idea for the general tone of what this is replacing? What will be replacing it?
I do indeed. I think I was going to go for something along the lines of... whereas his other criminal one is the sort of background criminal mastermind type subversion tag. This one might be the sort of doing crime actual tag. So I know a guy is going to be something like Shady Underworld minions and along those lines.
Okay, absolutely. I think this realization about yourself and your story makes you cognizant of what your mythos is. You now know the name of your mythos for whatever power that gives you.
Okay.
Do you choose to say it?
I shall whisper Moriarty under my breath.
Very good.
Oh.
Okay. Give me a second. We're gonna go to the we're gonna go to the map for a bit while I go and set up the next space. But feel free to talk amongst yourselves. Essentially, as you're like on the boat to the Elysium Island miner.
Can I get some volume pogs in chat? Because that was
Let's get those pogs going.
amazing.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
This is very cool. Who that has a store that plays near music? God damn.
This is actually one of the tracks from Sinoalis.
Oof.
Yeah, I know, right?
Recognized it.
Keiichi
Thank you.
Okabe kicking ass. Although you hardly ever hear this song unless you play PvP, which is a shame because PvPs are boring.
Shit.
But okay, let's go and.
I do love the idea that we're all going over on the boat being like, Sinoalis PvP dog shit.
It's bullshit. I don't like it, but I drew 2P, and that's what matters.
I got A2, so I was happy.
A2. I should replay Nier Automata soon.
I also really need to play Nier Automata for the channel. That's very, very good. One of my favorite games ever. Right, okay.
Absolutely.
As we're making our way to the island, in turn, what's one thought you're having as you're making your way to what is in many senses the final location?
I think I have a suspicion that the journey across between Shinichi and Sabine is going to be oddly quiet, given we've both had odd encounters with our mythos one way or another.
Sabine, how are you feeling?
I think she's just playing that scene over and over again, where I guess she doesn't know the name of it, but where Nemesis showed up and she's just like staring at Tenchi, and like she's trying to close her eyes and like rub her eyes and look at that scene without Tenchi being there, but she just can't see that lab without looking straight into Tenchi's like horrific visage.
Going, how you feeling?
Going just is like cleaning an ear with a pinky finger and just remembers the bag of crisps on the bed with Kim snacking out of it. that was it. That was their encounter.
Dang, I was really excited about those chips. So sad he ate them.
Yeah, damn.
I guess it's better than that than thinking about your family members right now.
Yeah, no, that's like the other side of it. Like he thinks about that really hard. To not think about the hospital he just went to.
Lucian?
I'm trying to remember. Does Lucian even know the name of their Arcana?
I don't think they do.
You have met them in your dreams, but it did not come up by name.
And I think as we're getting some just big Arcana energy vibes, menacing tags flying in the air on the boat ride, I think Lucian's just thinking about how little they still know about their Arcana. They don't even know if their Arcana is even fictional or if it is a historical legend. And that lack of knowledge is been quietly burning a hole in the back of Lucian's brain, just really setting them on unease.
And before long, we arrive at our final location, important enough to have a star pin. There we go. Yeah. As we make our way over to the tennis courts. It's moving into late afternoon at this point, and you see two people working practice matches on the tennis court. One of them, who you can easily infer to be Charlotte Washington, in a tennis outfit that not only looks incredibly expensive, but is made in a surprisingly unusual material. It's all chiffon and white leather. She carrying a tennis racket in her in her right hand, and she is Caucasian, by the way. In her white ass hands. Look at this fucking Karen.
Is your Cracker Barrel over here?
Jesus.
Look at this fucking loose leaf.
Yes, carrying a tennis racket in her right hand and a very expensive-looking leather glove in her left hand. You see the student that she's up against go for a wide shot, curving it expertly to let's see if rulers even matter. Kind of go around in like a curved shot to try and put the ball behind her. Very Mario Tennis, and she just effortlessly takes a step back and with expert precision just does a mean slice with the right, and it like burns into the ground effortlessly within the line, bouncing and hitting the wall behind. She nods solemnly. Of course this was going to happen. After all, she is Charlotte Washington.
There's the music again. Do you hear it?
Can't hear anything. I don't know what you're.
I like wrap my arms around going. It's okay, buddy. Well, let's go for a little walk, okay?
This
See
is-
the butterflies over there?
He's had a hard time.
Charlotte looks surprisingly young. She's probably about as old as Sneechy is, if not slightly younger. There is another teenager, maybe slightly older, but in the same ballpark, politely clapping at the point landed, carrying a clipboard.
I think that must be the assistant we spoke to.
Yeah, I think so.
And that over on the other side is a huge loser. And then that must be Charlotte. All fingers pointing at all roads led to her right now.
Yeah.
I'm too straight up. I'm too scared to talk to her.
She'd chew you up and spit you out, Gwen.
Yeah.
Come on, Lapis Blue, girls are watching.
Kim, you go talk to her then.
I guess it is Kim now. Yeah, I was saying that out of character, but no, it's Kim.
Oh, I mean, I can try. Actually, hold on.
I'll be by your side. This
I'm-
ribbon's coming untied.
Oh, that was good. That was a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
write it
down
down.
on the way over.
Exactly. Yeah, no, write it down. That was a good one. Keep it. Keep it
I
in mind.
already did. That's what I just said.
Nice.
Excuse me. Your chatter is under disturbing Washington summer. I must ask you if you are here to provide emotional support and/or gifts. To send those all to the usual PO box.
Oh, yeah, we're just appreciating the finer works and technique in Washington summer's swing.
Don't make this weird. No, in fact, we're here for something far more serious than fan clubbing. We need to have a important discussion with Ms. Washington.
Let us talk to Washington Sumo. Got it?
Leslie's Leslie's glasses glint as she pushes her. There are very few things that are more important than praising Washington summer.
That's kind of creep. I'm gonna lie, that's kind of sucks.
Okay, Lucian's going to try to Lucian's going to have a dark transformation into a cop and say, "You can't praise her from behind bars, please."
Oh,
Give me a convince roll, Lucian.
Hell yeah. Okay. Okay. Tags I'm bringing in. I am going with. Oh man, the interface is so tiny. Okay, I'm going for adamant, ambitious leader, scion of truth, and I think that's probably what I can get out of this one.
That makes sense to me.
Now, I'm not bringing a bird or a book into this, so Okay, let's get convincing.
Ooh.
Rolls have been good tonight.
Hachi machi.
So, what tags would you like to put on Leslie?
Oh man, the word cowering comes to mind.
Sure.
Yeah, screw it. Let's go with it.
Out of character, Marcy, you're getting there are vibes of Thalira at her worst here.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Leslie's like, I'm nothing if not incredibly noble and law-abiding.
Indeed. Step aside.
There are words unsaid in that like fraction of a second of a cracked voice that we absolutely do not have time to explore. Where she takes a step back. Sorry to bother you, Washington Summer. But I think there are some guests who needs to speak to you. Oh, I see.
Indeed.
Who do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
Harfang. Lucian Harfang.
My name is Miss Washington. Charmed, you're sure. She proffers a hand.
You're sure? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I think, God, is this a handshake or is this a kiss the ring hand?
Kiss the ring? Are you kidding?
Lucian goes in for that.
Oh my goodness.
No, we're going to take it there. We're supposed to hate her. You fail to kiss the ring, and she takes a slight disdain sniff and takes her hand back. I thought I smelled poor. What do you need?
Wow.
I thought I smelled poor.
Well, forgive our minimum wage here, Washington, but we're investigating a stabbing attack that happened on this here campus.
Indeed. We're investigating a murder attempt.
Oh, yes, I did hear about that. It seems that my cousin has been, getting a little too unhinged.
Oh.
Miserable, really.
So you know things about this. Perfect. Well,
Of course I do. I'm going to be the future CEO of Atomicon Technologies. It wouldn't do to not know things that go on in Elysium Island.
Yeah. Oh, how lucky for you.
Yeah. I mean, not wanting to make too many comments, but your brother's many things. Sorry, your brother.
To assume such scum could be directly related to me. No, he's my cousin.
Yes, indeed. Your cousin may be many things, but someone with the testicles to carry out a stabbing isn't one of them.
Yeah, and I actually had a chat with your brother before coming here, and
She glares at you. You for a fraction of a second feel like you were about to die.
Nice.
That was-
Just dropping dead.
as a
that
ribbon
was
manifests around your throat.
that was entirely unintentional. I just wasn't paying attention. Sorry, but that works perfectly. We actually had a talk with Quinn, and he seems entirely just as surprised as you are that this occurred, and he actually was very surprised when I dropped your involvement. Like, he's convinced that he's going to be the future CEO, but you've already, I guess, if tennising is the only measure that they use for succession, I guess you're already up there, aren't you?
Well, yes, I am skilled in many forms of both the academic, athletic, and creative techniques. Tennis is just one of my many hobbies. I am also an expert at fencing. I can horse ride with the best of them. My golf swing is astounding for somebody of my age. And, best of all, I know how to get rid of people when they're not wanted. Oh, sorry, that sounded like a threat. Goodness me, you must be looking at me with such suspicion. Mostly, I'm just talking about when people are trying to interrupt me when I'm in the middle of a tennis match. Which,
So you should be looking at your assistant because she interrupted you anyway. Yeah.
oh,
we're
she'll
looking-
get hers later, she smiles.
This is so sus. I am almost done. Here.
Just calling in, like, radioing, can we get some witness protection on this?
For real. Yeah. This vibe kind of sus though. I don't like
Leslie,
it.
blink twice if you're in danger.
Why don't we sit down?
Leslie hears this conversation. It's in general vocal range. She does not respond negatively.
Leslie just opens her eyes very wide to make sure she doesn't blink at all, so he misinterprets what's going on.
Lucian reaches over, takes Charlotte's tennis racket, and then lobs a ball at the Atomicon student who's been standing there for 15 minutes. So I believe we were discussing them. No, Lucian definitely doesn't do that. So we were discussing the murder attempt.
Yes. And it seems that it's already being handled by not only members of our current enforcers, but people on the mainland too. It must be certain that he's done it.
Ooh. I want to have a quick flashback to the papers we found in Paz's apartment. Were there any names on them?
I'm sure there were. You wouldn't have come across Charlotte. For kind of like a partially expediency's sake, what Paz said in the hospital about, you know, people who are clearly certainly rich enough can just increase their donations if they were. So she does not have to worry about failing exams.
Okay.
Although looking at her, it doesn't look like she's going to be failing any exams anytime soon.
No. I might Sunichi might drop in a potential barb if suspicions are leaning that way. I said, well, to be perfectly honest, whoever set up to frame your colorism was a rank amateur. Even the complete lack of imagination shown in the attempt to frame him be so easily looked through.
The only reason he's locked up is because of that knife. They had to do it. I don't think anyone thinks that he really did it.
You'd think they'd be able to afford better materials to fake it.
Oh, my. It seems you know a lot about this dalliance of my cousins. In that case, I wonder why you're wasting your time here rather than finding the person that actually did it. But I'm glad that we can meet each other. I now know your faces. However, for now, I think we're done here. Please leave.
The thing is, Charlotte-sama, your name did come up, and so of course we had to pay you a visit.
And now we've met. But now I think I tire of your presence, and I am about to call security, so if you don't mind.
I grab her by the shoulder before she turns around.
Ooh.
Oh shit, okay. Yeah, you kind of like push Lucian out of the way and kind of go for a grab of the shoulder, and you feel the world thin for the fraction of a second, barely any time at all.
There fucking go.
Are you seriously going to lay a hand on somebody and accuse them of attempted murder? I could have you done for assault, you know.
I'm sure you'd have me done in a different way if you really had the time to fill it out. We're gonna continue this conversation. Your friend over there on the other side of the court can wait.
This conversation can happen at another time. I must insist that you leave. I will call security. And she pulls a phone. She's not kidding.
Can I snatch the phone?
Ooh. I think that is a roll. Go toe to toe would be that.
Something I want to bring up. I think unfortunately we might be kind of at a point where it's like, okay, we know she mad sus and definitely behind this. We don't really have I don't know if we have a way to just expose her right now.
You do not.
Yeah.
So trying to just escalate this right now, I think I don't know if there's much of a point with that.
With the mix. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I super want to see this queen fall. I just want to see that happen.
It'll happen. Just be patient.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
With the mixed success, just raw. That's fine. Let's go. You grab the phone and she grabs your wrist. She's fast, and she stares you directly in the eyes, and it's like, "Oh, you're a feisty one. Gosh, if I was in a better mood, I'd be intrigued."
Listen, princess, I can crush this phone easily if you try anything more. So let's just call this a standstill, and we'll book an appointment for another time. What do you think?
Please do. You can file an appointment with Miss Yardley over there. And time passes in a very short form, where Leslie does actually try and schedule an appointment for you. It's 2 weeks away. And
Oh, hold on. Before we cut ahead, how do so she's grabbing like my wrist and I've got her phone, right? Does she let go of me when I say like, hey, let's try to calm down?
she takes the phone back off you, but yeah.
And then she takes it first before letting go. Damn. Okay.
You just dash it on the floor anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna do that.
I mean, I think also this all becomes a lot more complicated if she does summon security. But yeah, there's a very, very tense scheduling, and you start to make your way off the court.
Oh, before we leave,
yeah.
Can I roll Kim real quick?
Kim is very difficult to summon in the real world.
No, but I mean the same thing, like nudge fate.
Oh,
in a certain direction.
Sure. Do you mind if we don't? I'd like to kind of move on to the next thing.
This is just for a laugh, so we'll skip it.
But you start to try and make your way off the courts, and that doesn't happen. Like there are just more courts, and more and more, and trying to leave is becoming really weird. And then you can tell that the reality between the border between reality and fiction is incredibly thin.
Oh god, we're in the suburbs.
And
Finally found
let's move scenes.
Tennis hell.
You find yourselves, weirdly enough, in a tea room. I've already taken the liberty of changing your. Oh, whoops! Did I just drag you into the abyss? My bad. There we go. Finding yourself in a tea room of some kind, and there is a figure on the other side that you inherently recognize without them even having introduced themselves as the prosecutor.
Oh.
They sit at one end of the elegant tea room dining table sipping a cup of tea. With a Templar helmet and gloves, almost no skin is exposed, and you can't help but wonder, are they a daydream? Are they a nightmare? Are they something else? Oh! It appears I have guests. I see. It's a pleasure to meet you all.
Yo. What's going on here?
Well, I should probably be asking that. I was just enjoying a spot of tea. Mulling over my case files. You can see next to the cream tea that they are currently enjoying a stack of manila envelopes marked with evidence, and also a rapier with a gold hilt.
Aha! Ha! Anyway, do we have our own teacups?
Sure.
Okay, I think
there aren't any, and then you think about it, and then there are, because that's the kind of space that this is.
Okay, yeah, I take a big sip.
No coffee, tea.
I take a big sip of tea. Like high commas tea.
You have heard once that Lapsang Souchong tea has a smoky flavour to it, although you've never drank it yourself. This is like drinking ashes in liquid form.
I'm okay. This is good stuff. Can I have more?
Well, you'll find that this tea room is incredibly accommodating. If you want tea, there is always more tea. But I do have to wonder why I am entertaining 4 guests.
I was about to ask the same.
We were trying to get some answers out of Charlotte, and then we couldn't leave her tennis hell.
Charlotte. Charlotte Washington, correct?
Yeah.
I have a file on her. Interesting young lady.
Oh, can you tell me any dirt?
Well, it's not one for the prosecutor to go and share their evidence that they've accrued unless it's in a court of law.
Are we being prosecuted?
Well, I don't know. Have you committed any crimes?
Not at all.
Not at all. we're just trying to solve one, actually.
Sabine Kistner. Look me up.
Ooh. They actually, their head tilts because their eyes cannot widen, you cannot see the eyes. Oh, I think you're actually relatively familiar. The prosecutor pulls a file and flips through it. We're not too dissimilar, you and I. A strong sense of justice, deep down.
It's our methods that maybe we differ in.
Just a blind bit of curiosity. Don't suppose you've got a file on me, do you, says Sinichi? This like huge A4 binder coming onto the table.
Yes, we have the Sinichi wing. Excuse me.
Let me dive into the archives.
I need to retrieve our golf cart to get out there. One moment.
The prosecutor pulls another file. Oh yes.
Busted.
There is actually something on you. But the current case that I'm working on does not currently involve you, so I'm not prosecuting you today. You're very lucky.
Can I ask for another lookup?
Oh goodness, has everybody come to visit me during high tea just to ask about themselves? How selfish.
We'll sell this, but this is important, and I'm sure we can continue after that. Delane Lapis Blue?
Oh, no, nothing on these current files, but I'm sure I have something somewhere. Everybody's had an indiscretion or two.
Sure. Thank you. So we are, we're in the Arcana world, and we were summoned here for one reason or another.
Ah, yes, you understand. You are in the realm of fiction.
Yeah.
Well, can you answer one more question for me, prosecutor?
Go ahead.
What did Paz do?
Oh, Paz. Yes, I do have a file on her. Actually, I'd be more than willing to share. It seems... Flip, flip, flip. They have been running, not only drug running, but cheating on tests for a wide number of students at Atomicon University. What unacceptable behaviour. I'm sure she's gotten hers, though.
Oh,
So-
I have no doubt she has.
So who are you currently prosecuting, or setting up to prosecute?
Well, it seems my current case is against a one Quinn Commandant. He has been accused of, both sabotage and attempted murder. That's juicy.
You may be a prosecutor, but you're clearly not an investigator. Commandant is clean. Maybe not in sabotage, but at the very least, the attempted murder. And I think the sabotage as well probably isn't his.
Oh, you doubt, do you?
Incredibly so.
Interesting. Are you willing to stand in his defense?
Name what I need to do.
All you need to do is say the word. This is your legal team.
Sure, let's go with that.
I got you back.
The
Yeah,
guy with the
got you
big
for
club
that.
over there is my lawyer. No, I'm my own defense.
I see. The prosecutor sets down their cup of tea. It seems that tea time is over. Very, very well. Let us decide whose truth is actually fact. Or let's see whose facts can actually prove to be the truth. And the space changes. There is already music in this campaign. You do not need to ad-lib. The shard of the collective unconsciousness shifts to a new form. The ruins of a destroyed courtroom. The prosecutor stands behind an opposing desk, prim and proper. Strood, it seems that this courtroom, the ceiling has broken through, reaching to buildings and sites way beyond skies and clouds. If you squint your eyes, you could maybe even see the stars. Among the rubble on the ground is various detritus of somebody. Hold on. Yes, among the stars you can see stars are moving across the sky in hyper-accelerated motion, and the air is strangely cold. Amongst the rubble is an assortment of school supplies, complicated textbooks, and what seems to be fragments of a teenage girl's bedroom angrily torn asunder. Welcome to the Court of Liberty, with eyes to the heavens. Let's just get you all kind of
Back on the
moved.
defense again is Sabine. She never seems to stop having to go up against prosecutors.
Well, you're the one with the most experience, so how do we do this?
I think I take my spear and stab this guy is what he's looking for.
I think that's illegal. But
I think-
if you killed prosecution, no one can prosecute you.
Well, this is the collective unconscious, so we may be able to stab him metaphorically with evidence
Oh my
pretty
goodness.
hard.
The prosecutor pipes up. Oh, it's resorting to violence in a court of law, in my court of law.
No.
There seems to be nobody at the judge's seat, and the jury seats are empty. Wow. I would absolutely not permit violence of that nature while we're in the middle of deciding the truth. You might find it will make you incredibly guilty to do so.
Who's gonna decide the truth then? As you see, place is pretty empty aside from you and us.
Well, it's a good thing that not only am I trained as a prosecutor, but also as a judge, and if it comes down to it, an executioner.
Oh boy.
But I'm sure that won't be necessary today. After all, I have a very solid case with me. Taps the big stack of papers with a gloved hand. If you can dismantle my arguments, then maybe I'll stand to listen to what you have to say. But I think my case is quite watertight. You can hear the prosecutor smile even if you can't see it.
Well, let's get this underway so we can keep moving on.
Very well. Before we get into it, there are two special rules that I will raise here. Players may lie about evidence. They make a convince roll at -2, although they may augment up to 2 relevant evidence and tags. Failed rolls inflict guilt 3. You may also summon evidence you don't have with a change the game roll at -3, although they may augment with up to 2 relevant evidence and tags. Same.
Okay.
On a hit, they create evidence equal to their power. So if it turns out that you just can't really reason through... Oh, I should probably re-summon the clues that you found. Give me
Yeah,
a
I was
second
about to ask
do
Yeah,
that.
that'd be good.
that was a thing on my to-do list that I didn't actually do. I'm good.
I used a bloody knife to kill him. There is your evidence.
Sorry about that.
Looking forward to emulating the experience
Okay.
of cycling through my entire court record inventory, trying to find the right clue, saving and reloading.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, I must drop my tablet for a second there. I think this will all be quite straightforward. Although if you get stuck, there are ways that you can, puzzle your way through, even if you get stuck. Okay. And actually, this is very, very similar to Danganronpa and Phoenix Wright in that I have statements that there are evidence that you can use to break. So we can do it that
Oh
way.
yeah, yeah. It's like select your evidence, go into there.
Make a good
Yeah,
argument, and then you move on.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
Do you want us to all start rotating in a circle? Will that make
please, we have a limited amount of time. Let's not.
Okay, we'll stop.
Let's. All right, let's start with the basic facts of the case, shall we? Paz Burnham was assaulted in her home at 2 a.m. on Thursday, and she was stabbed with a knife, and the bloody knife was later found in Quinn Commandant's possession.
hold it!
Oh.
You got that wrong.
There is the body shrugging and implication of a raised eyebrow. Oh, what about that was not the truth?
There is no conclusive evidence that she was stabbed with a knife. The stabbing weapon, the stabbing instrument was long and thin, and the knife was ruled out.
We shall throw in the evidence of the medical. We have medical records, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep, Paz's medical record.
Okay. Ah, so you managed to find a bloody knife with her blood on it. Okay. And it didn't match up with the wound?
It did
Correct.
not.
Indeed, it did not.
How strange. I wonder how that blood got on the knife then. Where did you find that knife, by the way?
Yeah. We found it. You found it in the locker, right?
I believe it was located in the lab lockers and retrieved by the police.
Oh! So the knife was found in the science labs in Quinn's locker. What a coincidence. I have been doing some of my own research, while I'm sure you four have been scurrying around an island you have no place in. So, let's see. Apologies, my notes are apparently out of order, but I have because obviously this argument can go in multiple directions. I need to pull the relevant thing. Yes, it seems that there has been some additional evidence that had been found while you were scurrying around the island. Did you know that locker access is logged to prevent theft? I have the records here. The prosecutor pulls up a manila envelope and like a holographic window pops out of it with evidence data on it. This evidence shows that Quinn's locker has only been opened once in the last 2 days at 3 a.m. on a Thursday, which was after Paz was stabbed. It seems pretty plausible that somebody went and stabbed her, took the knife and put it in Quinn's locker.
Hold it. What does it take to access a locker? Perhaps an ID card?
Well, of course, you've been to the lockers, haven't you?
So you're inferring that Quinn used his ID card in order to access his locker and hide the knife in?
That seems to make sense to me. It only stands to reason.
Yay, Chigai Mass!
Oh.
I was getting there, but fine, go ahead.
Sorry, I had to jump ahead to Quinn reports his unable to ascertain the whereabouts of his ID card. Also, the lab lockers are not foolproof. There is evidence of tampering on Quinn's locker, and indeed, evidence a second person would be required to release the emergency release catch on the lockers.
Ho, ho, ho. So he was able to go and get into his locker anyway? Well, that's fine. It means that he's been working in the lab for however long he's been working there. Although this interesting thing about there being a second person is really interesting. What evidence do you have that says a second person was involved? Beyond the fact that there is something that apparently requires 2 people, what second person are you suggesting?
Well, there wasn't, so Quinn couldn't have opened his locker.
It seems very bold to go and change your statement like that, saying that it's something that required 2 people, and then saying that there wasn't a second person. Your story sounds really inconsistent, Mr. Mori.
For a second.
Fine then, if that's how this is going to be, we will continue. The tone changes.
Okay, hold on, just to check. You did bring up that he lost his ID card, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as a result, the prosecutor says, it doesn't matter if Quinn didn't have his keycard on him. The lockers in that room have an emergency failsafe release. And as son of the CEO, it's no surprise he'd know that. And, to be honest, all of this is such a waste of time. All the fact of the matter is that, well, who on earth would want to go and put a bloody knife in his locker aside from somebody who wants to go and remove evidence?
As we said, you do require 2 people. There's a release that one person must stand on while the other picks the lock to get inside.
Mm-hmm.
And additionally, I may be able to suggest not just one person who'd be up to this, but 2.
Uh-huh. What is your theory, Max Harfell?
My theory, as it stands, is that Charlotte Washington is behind this in an attempt to knock her hated cousin down quite a few pegs. And that's just one person. It takes 2 to operate the failsafe, it takes an accomplice that you have not named that Quinn would have, but Charlotte has a very well-known accomplice.
A devoted one.
The cowering one, the kind of pathetic one at the tennis court. What was her name? Someone else.
Yes, Miss Yardley.
Yes, Miss Yardley.
However, I feel that I have an objection here. The research labs are university property, and it seems that you might have misunderstood the ages of both Miss Washington and Miss Yardley. They are both high school students. While I am sure that if Miss Washington really wanted to, she could get most places on the island, do you really think that she would be able to make somebody who is so law-abiding and worshipful as Miss Yardley to break the rules?
Indeed, I do. Though Miss Yardley did admit to being very afraid of the law, she did have an inside man, Ferran.
Ferran, I don't believe the two have met.
But why is it such out of the ballpark expectation that they would be working together to misplace dear Quinn from his position as the future CEO? Ferran has had run-ins with Quinn. Ferran does not like Quinn, and Quinn does not like Ferran. They work together in the same laboratory. Ferran has access to the laboratory. That is how Miss Washington got in. That was the two people needed to access the locker. Ferran and Charlotte.
Interesting. Actually, since we're talking about Mr. Ferran Wyndham, we haven't really talked about the other nature of this case, have we? The sabotage. After all, not only was that knife stashed in Mr. Commandant's locker, a flask of acid was removed to break into Mr. Wyndham's locker and destroy the research project. And are you really suggesting that Mr. Wyndham would want to go and destroy something that they have been working for over 3 months on? Something that they've had to go and... as I understand, his studies were slipping as a result of all the research.
I would like to potentially pose... what was the rule we could for generating additional evidence?
If you would like to generate evidence that you don't have, it's a change the game at -3, although you may augment that with up to 2 relevant evidence or tags.
Okay, so the theory Shinichi's running through his head is someone potentially might have had leverage over Ferran with the whole study drugs approach, and they used that as leverage to get into the lab to plant the evidence, and they also sabotaged he had his own project sabotaged, which generally be upset about, but it was to provide cover.
Exactly.
So it'll probably be study drugs and Ferran's project.
Ferran's project and study drugs. Okay, sure. Those two make sense as pieces of evidence. So you're doing this at a -1.
Okay.
Broken lock too. Maybe your lab lockers.
You can only add up to 2. You can only add up to 2 relevant pieces of evidence. At best, you'll be making new evidence at -1.
Okay. Change the game, wasn't it?
Yes, indeed.
Let's give that a shot.
Because it's supposed to be hard.
Man, fuck laws. That's what I think.
Mild success.
Mild success.
That's pretty good.
You fabricated a piece of truth that you don't actually have. Take guilt 2. However, you do. I guess you managed to generate. What kind of specific piece of evidence that you're trying to generate on the result of this? That you're bringing the connection that you're making.
I need a link that somebody would know about the study drugs and the
like a text or an email from Charlotte to Ferran, maybe.
Okay. Shall we go with that suggestion of?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. You, similarly, in a way that the prosecutor kind of pulled evidence from a manila envelope, you're suddenly holding an envelope in your hands as you pull the evidence therein. What kind of accusation of this evidence is this and says that?
Okay, this evidence states communication between Ms. Washington and Farron, implying she was aware of the study drugs and was blackmailing him.
The prosecutor takes a look at your evidence and chuckles. Oh, wow, I see. Well, we are within the collective unconscious after all. Being able to pull evidence from one's arse is feasible. However, I'm afraid I can't accept that evidence into official record. I'm afraid it is very clearly fabricated. It would be easy enough to go and check the phones of either of those people and verify that particular message sent. Although I will say,
why don't you please check the phone records?
Funnily enough. And there is another sweep of hands, and another envelope appears, pulling up kind of like contact, like the address book belonging to a C Washington and an F Wyndham. It seems that there is no, that they do not seem to have each other's numbers. Although my data does pull that Ms. Washington was indeed aware of Farron. After all, she is very, very interested, it seems, in stamping out crime and ne'er-do-wells within Elysium Islands. And Farron is indeed committing a crime. Running drugs is very illegal.
I suppose she would hate to have competition.
Wow. You are... I must say that is a very small-minded interpretation of young people trying to climb up the ranks when they are of the wealth and status that she is. She does not need at all to do anything resembling drug running to get to where she needs to be.
Oh, I just meant in terms of crime in general. I would agree that drug running seems quite below her. But let's return to the matter at hand. So you are implicating Quinn for a crime that you cannot logically explain how he could have committed.
Yeah, as the prosecutor, you need to produce the murder weapon.
Do you not have... Oh, so you're discounting the bloody knife, or the and the fact that he was found a way to be able to get into his own locker, a way that he'd be able to understand that he could.
I think that we can discount the bloody knife when we know what kind of puncture Paz really received. And forgive me if I'm wrong, and forgive me for being so forward, but you do have sheathed a rapier, which would, I believe, match the stab wound.
Ooh.
I was waiting for that one.
You're so desperate to accuse me, honestly.
Well, I'd like to...
The fact of the matter is, I have additional evidence to provide. It seems there are security cameras. There are motion sensors in the hallways of these buildings, by the by. It's not just the lockers that retain data. There was movements of only one person that entered and exited that room, not two. An accomplice would have been impossible.
Farron never leaves the lab. He spends all of his time there.
That isn't true. He was able to receive the study drugs from, I believe, a Mr. Mori.
Okay, not literally never, but he spends a lot of time. Especially if he would have to... never mind.
In fact, I would say that if there was a single person who was making their way into those labs, unless they had intimate knowledge of how the lockers worked, would not be able to open the lockers on their own. There are only two real solutions. That it's somebody who had an intimate knowledge of the room and was there alone and had reason to do that sabotage, which I am positing as Quinn Commandant. Or maybe it's not even a human at all.
Something here. I've played these games before, we just gotta bring up every piece of evidence until we get it right.
Bring in the parrot.
When you say that there's only 2 ways to open the lockers, what ways are you thinking of?
As I say, there are 2 ways of opening lockers. There is using the key cards, and there is using the emergency release system.
Ah.
Perhaps Charlotte wasn't involved at all, and Charlotte worked with whomever her nightmare is.
You're both forgetting something very important. And Lucian holds up a piece of paper from a book that has the acid flask icon on it. Farron's locker was melted open with acid, and Quinn's locker has warping around the emergency release buttonhole. Hit by something thin or cylindrical. Maybe you know something about this.
Honestly. That is a very interesting connection of events. And, well, I think I was still on a train of thought about potential culprits of it being a singular person or something fictional. But we are in the fictional world, and you do realize that manifesting the powers of fiction in the real world is impossible to sustain.
Objection.
Correct.
Objection.
I
would like to use our fictional objects evidence to show that there is, in fact, a way to manifest objects from the collective unconscious into the real world.
Oh. Oh, goodness. I suppose, it's come to this then. I must admit to you that I am indeed Quinn Commandant. It was indeed I! Oh, you guys are so clever. After all, I knew how the lockers worked, and I was able to go and get into those at long range. And with the nature of the powers that I unlocked in the collective unconscious, it was easy for me to be able to go and reach across the room and be in 2 places at the same time. I grabbed the acid flask, melted that blasted researcher's locker, and melted his work just for fun. Oh, you found me out. You are all so clever.
So, this is all a game to you?
I think he's going for more pleading insanity to try to get himself off with this one. The prosecutor, that is. Clearly not Quinn.
I'll believe nothing till I've seen that helmet off.
Oh? Why would I not be Quinn? I know the intimate nature of the crime. I know exactly how it was done. I poured that acid flask onto the engine myself.
Yeah.
Show me your hands, prosecutor.
Ooh, go on.
Why on earth would I do that?
If you're so reformed and willing to turn over the new leaf and admit defeat, then you'll have no problem showing me a key part of this entire problem here. Show me your hands.
Very well. The prosecutor removes their left glove, and there is a burn on it.
Other one too.
There's no burn on the right hand.
But is it immaculate? Wait, hold on. Did Quinn's hands?
Yeah, that's what you're right. Quinn. So exactly. Objection. You were involved with the cover-up, with the attempted murder. However, when Goin and Shinichi went to speak with Quinn, Quinn's hands were immaculate, not the hands of the killer.
They were so soft. Damn.
Ah!
God damn, he must moisturise.
This is infuriating. Why are you all like this?
Because we're more interested in we're more interested in the truth than you are, it seems, prosecutor.
Fine. If you understand how this works so bad, explain from the beginning. Tell me exactly what happened.
Let me get out my scrapbook. Let's use the let's form the manga.
Comic book.
Right to left. Here we go.
Yeah, I unfortunately didn't loop the actual like closing argument music. I should have done. My bad.
We can do it for you, acapella.
No, let's not. But
Let's do the closing argument, but the game part.
So yeah, talk me through in I guess chronological order how this went down. If the prosecutor or whoever you think the prosecutor is might have done it, and then at the end being like, "It was you, culprit." So let's start with the first question. What happened in Paz Burnham's apartment?
Well, I think if the security footage showed there's only one person going in there, I think
that was the research labs, not Paz Burnham's apartment.
Okay. Well, we do know that it was the prosecutor that did the murder attempt, not only because of them having the rapier, but also has mentioned that the wannabe killer's voice was muffled as if it was behind a helmet. Or muffled.
She also said that she saw a knight.
Oh, I did not hear that. So, that's pretty... Yeah.
She saw a sword, according to her testimony.
Yeah, so presumably
she
put the...
She straight up said, I thought I saw a knight.
Yeah, someone with a helmet, yeah.
So we've got Paz's medical records being submitted as one of the evidence, putting the rapier as the potential attacking weapon, which injured her.
Okay. What happened to the bloody knife?
Was acquired from the knife wasn't. The knife was taken from the kitchen, from the scene, and blood was transferred from the fictional rapier onto the actual knife because there was a knife missing from the apartment.
Lucian, how was Quinn's locker opened?
Quinn's locker was opened, I believe, with the acid flask in order to make the emergency release buttonhole more accessible.
Actually, well, the acid flask was used on Farron's locker.
Right, it was the
rapier. Right?
Yeah, the rapier warped the emergency release button on Quinn's locker.
What happened to the acid flask?
Still asking me?
I can leave that open to whoever wants to tag in to answer that question, but you can if you like.
Found in Quinn's locker, right? There was like a huge acid stain, I believe.
Yeah, so it was used on the locker, and then when they went to return it, a fraction of the acid presumably dribbled down the side, causing them to drop it and create a spillage on the floor. Which then, presumably there's a zoom in on the mysterious shadowy killer's hand, where we see like an injury and luminous fluorescent pink blood on the transferring from the glove on the side of the
and finally, who have you met that has hidden their left hand?
Fucking Charlotte, she was wearing gloves.
Yep.
And only one.
Only one.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Let's take a step forward, everyone. Line up. Roll 20.
I'll move Sabine. There you go.
The culprit is you!
You!
Charlotte Washington!
Alright. Well, you guys have done a lot of research. It's all very impressive. Yes, indeed, my excellent fencing skills have been put to good use lately in terms of punishing criminals. They do indeed need to be punished. It is my job as the future heir of Automacon Technologies to make sure that there is no... I have to shape everybody and everyone on these islands within my vision, my standard of living. And there are many people who are not meeting my standard of living. They're cheating, they're lying, they're selling drugs to each other. All of it unacceptable. So, I'm handling it. Very efficiently, too. And yes, my sword work has been used on Paz. It has been used on a number of people in that drug ring. But there's something that you didn't quite gather. After all, it would be impossible for one person to be able to stretch across the room to hit both the button that releases the lockers and step on the emergency release. And there's also the matter of how our dear, dear poor Paz Burnham was strangled. But I know how. Shall I show you?
Oh, please
You're
do.
going
Disappears.
to. I really want to or not.
Okay, it's this. The prosecutor's form unravels, the upper torso peeling away to reveal a skeletal torso reshaped as scales. The right arm unwinds into something long and snake-like.
Oh, hell yeah.
A glint,
Oh.
and the rapier manifests in their hand as they step slowly towards you.
That's sick. Also, I see the Tokyo Mirage Sessions inspiration there. Hell yeah!
And that's where we're going to end the session for today.
Bravo, encore.
Hey! Hey!
Nice, nice.
No formal boss fight, although there is one about to occur. You are about to be stabbed in the face repeatedly.
Oh, wonderful.
But for now, I think now is a good point to stop on that cliffhanger.
Yeah. No, good call.
Yeah.
Oh, we did a lot today.
Yeah.
This was a really productive and cool session.
Yeah.
Shall we do our comments and kudos?
Comments and kudos. Yeah, you go, mate.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, who would like to do their comments, their kudos first? Who would like to give kudos to another player?
I think I'll gloss in for just the scene of Sabine going off at Washington. Yeah, that was fantastic. No, I'm not putting up with your shit.
I had enough.
Yeah, you could see the palpable snap. And,
Let's put something a little
there's-
less tense on.
Yeah,
There we go.
the probably the sideways glances from all the rest of the other players and we're gonna get security and we're all gonna get arrested. Oh no.
And I had learned from a past roleplay experience where I had gotten myself another player in jail over acting a little bit too rashly that I should just de-escalate at that point. And,
Yeah,
Oh my god.
So thank you.
absolutely.
Oh my god.
That's right.
Fucking. That was such a good part, though. I love that
Who
part.
did I get arrested with me?
It was Nox, wasn't it?
I think it was Nox. Yeah.
The Blades in the Dark campaign also had
Yeah.
similar run-ins with the police.
I played a Ronin who was just he was done.
He's done with it.
Yeah.
Done, Dad.
Nice.
He was a done dad.
Who would like to go next with kudos?
I guess as I was given kudos, we'll just keep the train rolling here. I'd like to give some kudos to Goin for that really cool backstory peek into the hospital with Goin's mom and why things are so weird between him and his dad. Very cool stuff. I love character backstory stuff like that, especially really emotional hospital scenes. It's heartstring tugger, and he did it greatly. So, good job.
Thank you. Yeah, I was waiting to drop that one, and it's, something that I've been talking with Nathan about. Like, how to make it work, and I'm glad I just got to drop the ball. No, drop the bomb, not the ball. I've learned that. Thank you.
Yes.
Like it.
And you got us an actual piece of evidence out of your really cool his backstory flashback. So it was a double bird.
Yeah. I'd like to give some kudos to Will, because I really liked the way, in that little session, that little partner plane we had going to the hospital and everything like around that. Just like the way you caught that emotional moment instead of being Lucian Harfang and the sort of like self-important leader. You were Lucian Harfang, like an actual friend, and that to me was a really cool like nod and a really cool way to like mesh that together.
That's why you got the social link for it.
Yeah, and like I really, because that could have been hand waved really easily, because it's just like, here's backstory dump, right? And it's like, well, moving on from that, you just like did the really simple line but really effective line. So, hey, you okay? And you like put the hand on the shoulder and stuff, and you know, I appreciate that stuff. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad you like that. I'm glad that worked for you. I was also going to give Goin kudos for the hospital thing. It was so cruelly ripped out from under the.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm also going to give myself kudos for making a lot of funny jokes. No, oh man,
it's a fun character quirk. I'll interject. Actually, I quite like that as Lucian's character work.
Good.
Thank you. Man, it's tough. Like I hate to do a communism kudo, but I do appreciate all of us doing some good work on the investigation. Like I don't think anyone. Oh wait, shit! Who got the call of the cousin?
That was me.
Oh yeah. That was a great shot in the dark.
Good shot in the dark, but also just like everyone, good job working together on this investigation.
I was very delighted at that. It's like, oh, that's a good guess.
Bang on. Really enjoyed the scene with Ruben and the doing that back and forth with the smug rich kid. It was great fun.
Quinn Commandant is also a returning character from a campaign.
Oh,
Of course.
He was a total piece.
Wait, hold on. Quinn, as in Quinn 10?
Oh no,
Quinn
no.
10.
Okay.
But the true culprit of the Strange Tales at Mainframe City Academy was the student council treasurer Quinn Commandant, noted kidnapper and taser user. Yeah, he was an awful person.
And this is his backstory.
Well, that's the thing. I tied that in with Kier mentioning, back in the day when he was in high school, apparently he was a gigantic terror. So it was a call back to him being 15 and the worst person. And it continues to be the worst person, except not actually the culprit this time.
And if you want to see how he's going to turn out to be a worse person in the future, go watch Nathan's underground broadcast one-shot.
Oh yeah, in a different timeline, he's the culprit in that too.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm always a big fan of extended universe for NPCs because every nerd loves a callback, and it means I don't have to think of 1,000 names. So sometimes it's just like, oh, this is a one shot, and it's supposed to be like comedic and faintly dumb. I can bring back an old character for that. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. What are we excited about for the future?
This boss fight?
Yeah, combat. I
boss
want
fight
to
looks
crack
cool.
skulls. I'm fucking ready.
I have some interesting mechanics in this one. Because Void Heart Symphony's combat system isn't really designed to be particularly like nuanced or damage heavy. But this is somebody with a sword who does intend to stab you repeatedly. So I've thought of some interesting ways where they don't go down too easily and they're actually physically a threat.
Yes.
There is some prime Sabine content in the boss fight encounter.
That's so exciting.
I will say. So look forward to that.
And I will say, I'm looking forward to, like, in the long term, to two things. Like, after the boss fight, the downtime, because I feel like with the social links ranking up, like how we're gonna build on that and who's gonna like downtime with who. And I'm very interested, like, when we're introducing specific dungeons specific to character psychology. So like when we will be like the main feature in a dungeon, you know?
Oh man.
Well,
Who is going to be the final boss of this campaign?
It's gonna be Sabine. We all know that.
We can fix her.
We all know that there's one heel turn that's gonna happen in this party.
I have to say that currently, you know, what I kind of like set in place when I cast this and kind of talked about its scope is that it tended to run I had intended to have it to run for 6 sessions, We're on
We're
session
not
4.
gonna do that.
Well, there is going to be a formal discussion once we hit the end of session 6. Do we want to keep going, and for how many?
Fuck yeah.
So
3 years later.
no,
No.
Long play.
Nathan hates long extended.
I kind of resolved after a while to kind of like want to do lots of mini campaigns rather than stuff that runs really, really long term, because then I get to try out a lot more systems and experiment with a lot more genres. But I do want to keep this going. Well, you know, while you guys also want to keep playing monthly. There are you know, true culprits, as it were, to be uncovered, and that's very unlikely to be uncovered in 6. So the idea of exploring just who really is causing these nightmares, and the potential of exploring one of you becoming a nightmare, is something that can happen. One of those can happen within the 6, and if you want to do both, it'll probably be longer. So.
Final villain, Kim.
I think it might be a race between Sneechy and Sabine to the bottom at this rate.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm noticing that the more that we hang out, the more both of us are going on that path.
Yeah, I do quite like the differences between the two characters, where Sabine, it's very sort of obvious, but Sneechy's keeping it very quiet, and it'll probably be a bit of a,
very good.
oh fuck, when people actually notice.
Right.
To that end, the thing that I'm looking forward to is actually developing this new Mythos playbook with you, Tom, to work out what your new set of abilities are, which I suppose will be available to you when we start next session, so you'll go into the fight against Justice St. Michael. For those who don't know, St. Michael is the patron saint of cops.
Very nice.
Wait, was that the fucking featured on the sort of like the kill pin?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. St. Michael's right. Yeah.
That Mont Saint Michel in France is named after.
Possibly. They're also the patron saint of like ambulances as well. There's a few things, but being of cops is one. So there's a lot of like police department challenge coins and pins that depict St. Michael.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So basically, ACAB.
ACAB.
Yeah, it's an interesting line between wanting to explore that as a topic, but also my personal kind of like veil of having police brutality on camera. So while I want the nightmare fights to be relatively visceral, and I think this will be, I'll be trying to straddle that line of it being a cool, quite, you know, high energy, mid to high level violence fight, but without it being like, you know, uncomfy territory. You know what I mean?
If you like, if I ever guess GM, like, don't you worry, I'll make my hands dirty on the most foul topics. I love that shit, and I think I know how to handle it well.
Yeah, I mean, exploring those topics is something I'm keen on doing, but you want to do it safely, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Know your audience and your players, as long as you've got everyone who's quite comfortable going through it.
Fantastic. Is there any more, or shall we do our sign-offs?
I'm looking forward to. I'm still looking forward to more of those like ethereal dream sequences where we're kind of more adversarial to each other than normal. That's fun to.
Oh yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Stood in a burning library and did nothing. That was good.
I definitely want to do more of the dream sequences in tandem with social link stuff. There might be a bit of discussion, because I think maybe doing both in one session is maybe a lot. So it might be giving everybody the option to do dream sequences with each other, or social links out in the city and things like that.
Right,
just balancing them so it's not 3 hours of not actually pushing the plot ahead at all. But I do want to do more.
My voice was tired at the end of that session.
Yeah, I don't think that needs to be exactly next session. Just something that I enjoy and I'm looking forward to.
Oh yeah, for real. I guess I'm thinking ahead in terms, you know, when this case closes. And we get into the social link phase, balancing all those out, so we get to do both the surreal, because I love some surrealist stuff, you know how it be. But also, you know, I don't want to bog everybody down with 3 hours of social links, but we'll navigate that together. Everybody, basically, if everybody has a think about what kind of social or dream stuff they would like to do after this fight is over, letting me know will be really useful, because then I can get all the assets and work that into our session. Wunderbar.
Wunderbar. Super.
All right. let's go and hit the credits screen real quick for everybody watching the stream, just to let everybody know. Thank you for watching all of this. This has been great. I hope you've enjoyed this next stage of Arcana Core and this fusion of Danganronpa and Persona, as I've been describing this session. If you would like to continue to support us, you can obviously continue to follow us on Twitch. For the time being, I am not going to be monetizing the channel because Twitch has got some issues that it needs to sort out with its own soul before I go and decide to actually turn that into anything you can give money towards. But if you would like to support us, please support us on Patreon, patreon.com/PhantomArtsEnt, Phantom Arts ENT, where you can find PDFs of the games that I make, as well as session. If you want to run a session of Arcana Core, as cases complete, I put PDFs up for that as well. Thank you to all our patrons so far. Thank you to all of our artists, including the fantastic people that have drawn our player characters. Our newest artist being Thomas Bryn, who did the collective unconsciousness art for Kier and Vega Hext. The nightmare that we just saw, St. Michael, was drawn by Eve Greenwood, and I love their nightmarish designs. They're a great fit for this. That one Mirage in Toko Mirage Sessions was part of the mood board for yes.
I've seen it.
Yeah. It's just so cool.
It's so cool.
Yes, our theme music is A Thief's Lament by Seeing Spots. I say this every time, but Friday after next is Bandcamp Friday, so if you want to go and give Seeing Spots some cash for some anime opening rock opera in album form, please do throw them some ducats.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Who wants to do any self-promo?
Yeah, sure. I'm Ruben. I will be... actually, you can vote for me upcoming November 8th. I will be running against, two big names, pretty independent, but I think I have a good shot. I'm looking to get like 50 votes. Thanks.
Make it happen. Please vote for Ruben. Get those 50 votes and make it a reality come true.
Any other promo?
Why, sure. I love to do promo. So I am... You can find me on Twitter at Raffi the Owl. You can find some of the tabletop RPGs that I create at marymancergames.com. And you can back me on Patreon to get those games when they release, get them early, vote on what games I'm making, etc., at patreon.com/Will That's UHL.
All right. Are we done for today, esteemed guests?
I think so.
I think so. Well, if anyone wants to send me some money, because I've been solo keeping half the pubs in York open for the last difficult period of lockdown, because it's a hard task, but someone's got to do it.
Beer money is also sensible. Set up a coffee. There we go. you can promo that when we stream next.
A puppy.
There we go. Yeah.
On that note, thank you so much everybody for tuning in.